We're double figures now, Sam, officially.
Officially. Lucy's legs 11.
I don't know why you keep saying Lucy. I've been watching Edge Runners. No one says Lucy.
It's bingo.
They don't say Lucy. Calling. They just say legs 11.
No, it's always been Lucy's legs 11.
I've never had anyone say Lucy's legs. Guys, tweet me on X. Hashtag it Farmville for life.
Hashtag Farmville free.
Yeah, hashtag Farmville for life and tell me if you've ever heard it called Lucy's legs 11 or if it's just legs 11. Welcome to episode something that's higher than 10. 11 of Cheat Codes Aren't Cheating. I am your main host, Yorkshire Bother, joined by the part-time host, Dark MCR. Sam, say hello.
Fuck yourself, Yorkie, and good morning, everyone.
I fuck myself at the start of every day. It helps me walk faster.
That's going to be the exclusive clip at the very beginning of the podcast.
What's the point? You hear it before the credits roll, you hear it again? No! You wait till at least a third in to pull a sample off. So what you said is I just need to mention getting pegged about 45 minutes in as well. You should have said, hello, Sam. Hello, Clarice. Sam, how are you this fine morning?
I'm doing very well. Been up since 8, got some shit done, got coffee, got icy cold water, and I am ready and raring to go to discuss some fucking amazing topics on today's pod. It is a fun-filled, jam-packed, whole hog of a podcast for you guys today. It's going to be a good one, so strap yourself in.
Yeah, strap yourself in. I'm fine too. Thanks for asking.
I was going to get there, but no.
You went quiet then. For a second, I thought we'd had tech issues again.
No, I was doing the elongate one letter because I was going to call you a fucking dickhead, but...
It's true, I am.
I keep looking over at my screen because you're on my screen over there, and it's not good. Right.
Left.
Up.
Down.
Circle, circle.
Jerk.
Right then.
Milk,
where
milk, lemonade. Round the corner, fudge is made. You still not asked me how I am, but whatever.
You know what? I just don't care, mate.
You know what? I run this shit. I edit it. I stream it. I turn up for it, unlike some Mr. I turned up after episode 6. And I don't even get asked how my day is. Mainly because the answer
I think it's because I've already found out how your day is, because we've been in a call for the last, hour.
I know, but
while you've been shopping back and investigating work shenanigans and then having protein things to try and up yourself, and then you have that first swig of Monster. It's like,
yeah. I nipped to the shop this morning to get an energy drink because I am fairly hungover. I'm sweating vodka. It's lovely. You could probably lick me and get drunk. Huffle, want to test it?
I want to test it.
Do it. So I'm so sorry. I heard it coming. I was like, I ain't muting in time. I'm just gonna own it. But yes, I had nicked out to go to the shop, but there was this old woman breaking into my work, and I was like, "All right, love, what are you doing?" Like, fucking squirrels nicked me light.
That was funny. Like, you're right, love. What are you doing?
Fucking squirrels nicked me light. Look, he's dropped it in grass. It's fucking green now.
Right, Yorkie, how are you doing today?
Oh, mate, I feel like I'm in a fever dream of bullshit. It's brilliant. I'm very, very, very sweaty. But not for you today, just in general.
Yet.
My sinuses are messed up. I'm pretty sure someone gave me a cig that wasn't menthol yesterday, so the back of my throat feels minging. But I'm still wearing the same shirt I was wearing for the last stream. Not because I'm a mucky fucker, just because I keep putting it on specifically for streams.
I mean, you've not taken it off, have you?
No.
You've been in that for the last, 3-4 days, right?
It's a very tight shirt. I don't know if I can get it off without a pair of scissors.
He's sweated so much in it that it started to shrink like it's been washed.
It's literally like wearing a dry suit into the sea. No, it's comfy and it does fit fine. No, like I said, I put it on yesterday to go out as well because I wanted to make some people laugh at it. And I thought, I'm already sweating. I need a shower. I've not had time this morning, so I'm just going to put this on because I'm already sweating vodka. Get through today, get through this morning with the podcast and stuff, and then after this, put it in the wash, go have a shower, put some clean stuff on, you know what I mean? I think if I'm already still sweating off the hangover, there's no point putting anything clean on because I'll be minging in an hour, so.
Yeah, no, I totally agree.
Plus, it's comfy, and it's got Cthulhu on it, and it says, don't bully me, I'll come. What's not to love? Also, if anyone is watching live, ! Merch in chat, there you go check it out. So, because Sam likes this word, I'm going to say it. Today, on the list, today on the docket, we have a lot. We've got some serious things.
Some light-hearted things. Some downright hilarious things. Not so much sad stuff this week. Normally we're talking about someone who's died. We don't have to this week. All people that have retired from beloved roles from games, TV, movies, and stuff like that. Yeah. But this week, it's not so bad. Although, I will say, our docket this week has been reduced because there was so bloody much that we could have covered over the last couple of weeks that.
Well, we were supposed to do it last week, weren't we? But I think, was I not feeling well or something last weekend?
You had the lurgy.
For a change.
Yeah.
At least it was the lurgy and I'd not gone out drinking.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure if you didn't have the lurgy, you would have gone out drinking.
That's a fair point. I'll give you that, dickhead. Yeah, I'll give you that. You're not wrong. But yeah, so because we missed last week's, I think I wasn't feeling great anyways. You were on with something, weren't you? Oh, I remember my allergies had set off on the Saturday, hadn't they?
Yeah, you were doing a lot of stuff and bed sheets and allergies, and you had to. Yeah, and then I was last week because you were suffering.
Yeah, because I didn't get to bed till 2-3 o'clock in the morning because I just couldn't stop coughing and sneezing, and then by the morning, then my back was shot and everything. So.
Yeah, it was like a fucking carry-on joke with illness with you.
It really is, but I mean, to be fair, if I remember correctly, you had something on as well, and you were like, well, you know what, this works out then, doesn't it? I'm sure there was something that you had as well, which made me feel less bad. So, yes, we've had 3 weeks worth of news, whereas we normally just have 2. And normally, it's always that first week after the pod where 90% of the news comes in, so what this actually means is next podcast, we're not going to fucking have anything.
Nah. Just off of some of the subjects, next podcast is going to be a jam-packed one as well, I reckon.
I mean, how many have we got today? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 20 topics. Fair enough, some of them are subtopics of other things we're going to talk about, but...
Oh, dude, technically... next podcast is going to be a very fun-filled one because it follows the weekend of EGX, which is next weekend.
Yes, it does.
So next week is going to be jam-packed with stuff.
Yes.
But
I cannot wait.
Let's
which I don't know about you.
At least one other topic.
While we've been talking about all of this, the only thing I've been focusing on is how is that man balancing on that vacuum cleaner? I can't.
I think he's doing the illusion that Michael Jackson did when he did that whole lean forward where it was 2 nails in the floor and he just hooked on his shoes. Yeah, and he's doing the Michael Jackson.
But is he drinking an old fashioned in a tall glass with a straw? Is it like what is it, like Southern tea? What do the Americans call it?
Long Island iced tea.
That we'll go with that one, yeah. That one. Could it be that? I don't know. But he looks like my old training officer from the police, and he's looking at me like he wants to fuck me. Which...
I mean,
knew?
doesn't everyone?
I hope my family don't.
I do. I do.
Yeah, I know you do, though, but that's just because you're lonely and looking for a butthole to climb in.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
There's no denying it.
And I mean, mine's got plenty of space. So the first topic. The Switch 2 has been announced. Well, rumoured. Has it been rumoured or announced? Because I could only find stuff saying rumoured, but you said it had been announced.
So the article that we've got from 6 days ago, which you've currently got on your screen, as have I on my screen. So these are just the rumours. However, there has been a announcement leaky thing that the Switch 2 will be a digital-only OLED version, and it's going to cost £325 for the digital-only version, which can only lead us to believe that it will be between £400 and £500 for the official. Now, the fact that it's going to come as standard as an OLED is great. I love the OLED screens on them.
Well, I do feel like now the OLED's out there in the market, you can't really go a step back now. No, you can't. It'd be so counterintuitive and it'd rub so many consumers up the wrong way. Yeah.
It means that I do genuinely believe that the Switch OLED will go down in price. It is currently £309 UK. I reckon that will go down to what original Switch prices will be, sort of between £2 and £250.
Yeah.
And the OLED will probably go down to be a much more affordable $120 to $150, I believe.
If it does that, I'll actually be getting one, which is nice.
Yeah. It should be hitting us in the next 12 months, and I believe that they've come out and all of these leaks. I say leaks, I think it's a targeted leak that someone has given the information to someone to report, to try and go, screw you, PlayStation, because of their new handheld thing that they're developing
Fucking
for
hate
the
that
PlayStation 5
it's
Pro.
So stupid.
It's one of those, PlayStation, stick with consoles, don't try and go into the digital market. The PlayStation, the PSP was great, but it was very linear. The PS Vita was good when it first got announced, but died within 6 months to a year of being released because the games weren't optimized and they weren't the best. Nintendo are solely a portable gaming thing.
Yeah. That's when they've got so many competitors now, like the ROG Ally and the Steam Deck, but for the most part, for price ranges, this is still the affordable option. It's the one that most people go to for like casual gamers, because if you're playing mobile, you normally are more a casual gamer than...
The Steam Deck and the Asus ROG and even the Lenovo Legion, I think it is, the new one on the block.
I've not heard of that one.
It's new, sort of like last couple of weeks.
Ah, fair enough. That'll be why I've not seen it then.
They're all one-to-one gamers. That is for someone that is an elite gamer that wants to play on the go. Whereas the good thing about Nintendo Switch is it's a family console. There is something for everyone on the console. You've got party games, you've got sporty games, fitness games, kid games, and just cozy games for those people that are in their 20s and 30s that like to run around and make farms and stuff.
Even with the home consoles, that's always been the appeal of Nintendo, is that most things, they tend to appeal to more, like you said, the more hardcore gamers, whereas Nintendo's always kept it casual. It's always been a bit like fingering a bird at a caravan park. You can just pick it up, put it down, and then next day you could smell your fingers.
Yeah.
I don't know where I was going with that. I had an idea for that analogy, and then it just kind of disappeared. Like all the women I've ever met at a caravan park. You can't prove anything, police.
But the release date for it is rumoured to be early 2024. So by sort of March, April time next year, we could have a new Switch on the card.
Did you say EGX next weekend?
EGX is next weekend, the 14th and 15th.
I wonder if we see anything about it at EGX.
I would hazard a guess that we hear stuff, or they have a one like showcase model.
Well, I'm thinking if it's rumored to be set for Q1 2024, they've got to at least have some developer model of it to showcase what it's capable of.
The developer model is out there and it looks freaky.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how I really feel about what it's rumored to be. Like the controllers and the Joy-Cons and everything, it's very weird in design.
Yeah.
But I reckon that it will be good.
But at the same time, this sort of leads into the fact that we've had rumours that Red Dead 2 is coming to Switch. Because I don't know how they'd make that run on the current Switch, but if a new Switch is right around the corner with stronger and faster hardware, it makes sense that it could be a potential.
I mean, that leads into a topic that we covered ages ago, back in the early podcast days, where Xbox and Nintendo are looking to work closely with each other. Yeah. So it wouldn't surprise me if Rockstar and Xbox are having a discussion to get their games on Game Pass, and then with the Switch 2, with the increased technology and stuff, whether Game Pass will finally be hitting Nintendo Switch.
Well, it'd be interesting to see, because obviously they can hold a Wi-Fi connection. It would be interesting to see if they enabled Game Pass cloud gaming on Switch. That would be interesting to see, because if they did that, it'd be so great for me, because I can sit there when Alfie's playing on the TV or watching something on the TV, I could just think, well, you know what, I'll boot my Switch. It'll get the most use it's ever used, because I've only ever really used it for Disco Elysium and Minecraft. That's the only thing I've ever really used my Switch for.
I think it would be the best move for Nintendo, with the fact of all the other portable gaming devices now hitting the market. Xbox Game Pass comes to Switch in some way, shape and form to give access to, I mean, who doesn't want to play Halo, the original Halos, on
the move,
on a portable device with a beautiful OLED screen? It
would be pretty beautiful. But like, it's one of them, because like for me the issue is I've never really been a big Nintendo fanboy. My first Nintendo was, obviously I had the Game Boy. Everyone had a Game Boy, but I never had like Zelda or anything for it. It was all like, because my sisters were older than me, it was all like Disney tie-in games. So it was like Tom and Jerry, and all that shit. We got the Game Boy Advance SD, the little, was that the flip one? I think whatever the flip one was called, had like Spyro, Crash Team Racing. I've never really had any first-party Nintendo titles. I've never really been into them. I've never really played Mario or anything like that. I think my only experience really playing Mario was Mario Kart on the Nintendo Wii, or playing like an hour of Super Mario Sunshine at my neighbour's house. So for me, having a Switch, I've got none of this nostalgia to go back to the old games, because they don't bother me. I've never played a Zelda game, and as much as Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild appeal to me, they're so different from most RPGs that I play. Because they're not trying to be, they're trying to be Zelda. Which is fair enough. They're good. But they just don't have that appeal to me. So for me to have an opportunity to use my Switch for something that is more than just Nintendo would be nice. Because could you imagine if you did that with like an Xbox, you bought it but only played first party Xbox titles? You'd never fucking touch your Xbox. You'd touch for like a few days and that'd be it.
So I'm just reading an article here about the potential specs. It could see a change in processor and GPU. It could be the case that we get either an AMD processor, or we finally get NVIDIA to come in and do some specky stuff.
NVIDIA's got to fucking get their officers back first. But we'll cover that later. Just gonna... Sorry, my headset's starting to die, and it's doing that thing where I plug it in and it just does the at me. So let's do that. Is that charging? That's charging. Right, I'm back with you now. I do apologise. I could hear what you were saying. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what they do with it. I'm curious to see, like we said, if anything is shown at EGX, because I feel like if it is due sort of like Q1 of 2024, that's the most reasonable place we're going to see any sort of review.
Well, there was rumours that the Switch 2 was showcased to developers at Gamescom, So that could have been the first iterations of it, and EGX being another really big gaming event of the year, it could be the case that the consumer finally gets to see the prototype for it, which if it's been shown to developers, I reckon that it's really along the way, and we could potentially get it, as I said, early next year.
Yeah,
but with the specs,
it feels like a good shout,
Yeah, it's going to be good. But it looks like the onboard storage could even be going up to 512 gigabytes.
Which, to be fair, it needs to do, because when you get more power in the consoles, that means more powerful games. More powerful games means larger file sizes. And we've seen it with the nightmares that is the new consoles, with the base storage at them starting around 500 gig. You get like one game on it and you're fucked.
Yeah. There is also potential for a new Mario game to come to it, as well as, and this is only a report, so don't hold me to this, but the Final Fantasy VII remake coming to the new Switch.
Japan finally reclaiming the stuff.
I would be very happy to see that, because I want to play it.
Well, it makes sense as considering two of the largest gaming companies out there, Nintendo and Sony, both Japanese, to see the fact that they've never really sort of collaborated that much on stuff, it surprises me, because neither of them have the money to take on a large Western corporation like Xbox. So it would make sense for them sometimes to pull the resource and just be like, hey, Bill Gates, fuck you. You know what I mean? I don't think we've ever seen them do it. Not that I can think off the top of my head anyways. But no, I'm very curious to see what's happening with that. And like you said, if it's standard OLED anyways, I'm looking forward to it.
It's going to have to be standard OLED, but I guess next week will be the telltale sign as to whether all of this is just speculation and rumours, or we actually get some substantial, either a video trailer announcing it, or physical hands-on view of a OLED Switch 2 in a box that everyone can just wow over because it's the newfangled thing. I'm excited to see, and if it is, then I'm pre-ordering one straight away.
But don't worry, listeners, we'll be the first people reporting on it for you a week after it's happened.
Let me just sell a kidney and go there and do like an undercover, like record on my iPhone 7.
Honestly, I would love at some point in the future for you and me to be able to go out to these sort of events and do like live sort of stuff there. Yeah, it would be so awesome.
Yeah, I'd be very much intrigued to do that too.
That's on you guys. Share it with your friends. Let everyone know we exist. Get us successful enough that we can get to places like EGX and Gamescom and Summer Game Fest. Insomnia. I have that all the time. I don't need any more. And we will steal you free samples. Oh, God. Oh, yes, I've admitted that I meet women and murder them. I've admitted that I'm going to steal stuff from all the gaming events. I don't think I'm getting sponsored. I asked Heinz Ketchup to sponsor me yesterday.
Oh, is this following the online debate that you were having?
It wasn't even an online debate. Some dude got angry about the price of ketchup. He was like, Heinz Ketchup, £4 a bottle, store brand 69p. Heinz Mayonnaise, £4 a bottle, store brand 69p. But the store brand doesn't taste as nice, it's stupid. It's like, well, that's because it's cheaper and store brand, mate. Like, if you don't like it, just don't have it. It's ketchup, you're not gonna die. And he told me, and I was fucking buzzing with this. It was like, now I can tell that I know that you're some Twitch personality, and then he said, which is in brackets, which is like Pornhub for nerds. No, OnlyFans for nerds. Sorry. He went, And I know you probably make a load of money off it, but us normal poor people, and I'm like, dude, I earn like 50 quid every 2 months. I'm not that rich, but I'm going to start doing that now. I'm going to put, do you know who I am? I'm a big time Twitch streamer. I make tons of money, and you're just all fucking povos. But so yeah, so I tagged Heinz in it. I was like, Heinz, sponsor me on stream, and I'll chug 2 liters of ketchup. I'm yet to hear back from them. I want ketchup.
Right. After your ketchup rant and the conclusion of the Switch 2,
yes.
Let's move on to the next topic on the docket.
Yes, Peter Molyneux's flaccid head has reappeared. He has announced he's making a new game. Now, me and Sam can't seem to figure out what game it is because we've had one game which was called Moon Something, which we thought it was going to be. Now this other game called Legacy's appeared, which I've just read now at the top of the article, is a blockchain-based business sim, which sounds awful. But basically, that's what we've always wanted. Oh, you want to buy some Bitcoin? But yeah, so Peter Molyneux came out. If anyone doesn't know Peter Molyneux, he is the dude behind sort of Dungeon Keeper, Fable, them sort of things. He's very much one of these people who he has had a lot of successes in the gaming industry. But the issue is, for every success he has that you hear about, he has about 40 failures that he doesn't tell you about. He's very much one of these people who likes to overpromise and underachieve. And it doesn't sit well with a lot of people. Fable 3 was a perfect example of that. He tried to make it bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger than Fable 2, and what I actually got was a shell of the game that Fable 2 was that disappointed a lot of people. He put a tweet out saying, "Hi everyone, just so you know you're all poor, and I know you're all bored. So I've made you a free game that you can enjoy." And I don't know if it's this one or if it's a different one, but this is the one that's coming up now. I'm trying to see where this was published this week.
I'm just going to say,
yes,
his game looks like every generic mobile game city builder
it looks
or
shit.
Town builder on any of the platforms. It genuinely looks like a pile of wank.
It looks like Farmville from a lower angle.
Yeah, Farmville would probably have a better chance coming out with Farmville 3
Farmville
than this will have.
Farmville was fucking sick. The amount of people I had in school who were like, "Stop fucking asking me for chickens!" Because I'd just send him it all the time on Facebook. That was my jam.
It'd always be the golden chicken trade.
Yeah.
That was like that hidden underground black market
basically,
thing.
yeah.
All right, I want you to give me 5,000 corn and apples for 1 golden chicken because it lays a golden egg that sells for millions.
But I mean, it's Farmville was sick. This looks shit. Blockchain, disgusting. Now, if it had been the other game that we thought it was going to be, camera refocus, please, thank you. I probably wouldn't have found it as bad, but I don't think this is a case of you're all bored and poor, so I want to give you a free game that's fun. I think this is Playground Games have taken Fable, Lionhead Studios no longer exists. They're all getting success off of my baby, so I'm going to try and be relevant again. And then he releases this shit because it's the easiest thing he can think of to get out there as quick as possible. That's genuinely what it feels like to me.
I'm just looking at... So I've just typed in Farmville. There is a Farmville 3 that is on mobile. And I would much rather play Farmville 3 than I would playing that game. At least Farmville looks like the textures of the trees and pathways and stuff looks 10 times better than his blocky piece of shit. It looks like he's just gone in to Roblox or
I was just about to say it looks like a Robloxy game.
Or a knockoff Minecraft. You know how you had Lego and then you had the other one that was just a complete rip-off. It was like, oh, look at us, we're doing Lego too. But it's not as good as Lego because we can't actually build
it was called.
Yeah, that's the one. It looks like a bargain bin bucket of shite in comparison to other games for building and farming and stuff like that.
The annoying thing is, I'm really hungover and you use bagging and bucket in the same sentence, and now I really want chicken.
But you can get some chicken after this if you want.
Okay.
If you're a good boy and you make it through this podcast, you can go get yourself a bargain bucket, okay?
Okay. I don't want an actual bargain bucket just for me. I do want some chicken, though.
Boneless banquet meal, thank you very much. But
nah,
yeah,
Zinger Twister wrap. 100%.
Fable was good, but it also was bad. Dungeon Keeper was good, but there were times that it was bad. This guy coming out with this game, he's using his name and his past successes to hopefully carry this game. But I'm sorry, but there are 10,000 other games like this that look the same, act the same, and probably do a better fucking job.
But this is the thing:
he's into a market that he doesn't know.
He's not done anything that's been a fan favourite since Fable 2. But whenever you actually look at him and think, all right, what have you actually done? He's like, well, I made Fable. Good for you. I made a poo the shape of Princess Diana back in 2003. It's not cool anymore, though. Like, it's just... He's so irrelevant now, and I feel like he's trying to clutch so hard onto everything. Like, if you want to play a game, don't play this shit. If you really want a good game that's going to be a laugh, coming soon, it's currently out in Northern America, but it's not out yet. Bethesda are doing a Elder Scrolls Castle game, which is basically like Fallout Shelter, but in the Elder Scrolls universe. That'll be fun. Play that when that comes out instead. Don't buy this. It's blockchain. It's stupid. It's predatory. Because anything that uses that sort of stuff is.
You might as well go play the game that Yorkie mentioned, or go play old school RuneScape and relive a childhood memory. Adventure Quest RPG, Farmville free on all of your mobile phones and smartphones. Go download it and play it now.
Do it.
Not sponsored, but you should sponsor us, Farmville.
Send me a golden chicken.
You know what? Yeah, we don't even want a sponsorship. Just give us one free golden chicken each. I'll be in bed. You won't see me wake up at 7 o'clock in the morning because I'll just be in bed playing Farmville.
All right.
Cloning my golden chickens.
Golden chickens for everyone. So that's it. So EGX will steal you all a new Switch. If we ever meet Farmville, we'll steal you all a golden chicken.
I like the sound of that. I think we can make that happen.
Like, this is the movement. Hashtag bring back Farmville.
Yes, let's do it. Let's get to Twitter. Sorry, X. I mean, whatever it wants to identify as now.
But do you still tweet on X? What's the word now?
I don't know. Honestly, I don't use X at all. I've kind of... When I return to that sort of thing, I think I'll use Threads more than anything else because it links with my Insta. Twitter is so out of the way and not linked to any platforms.
To be fair, I'm just going to start using the socials tab on people's YouTube profiles because all the creators post on there now because none of them want to be on X. Yeah, it's almost like a social media itself. That's one thing I like about YouTube. It's got the short form content, it's got the long form content, it's got the community side of things. They're doing everything. I like them. But anyways, before we get distracted, we've got a lot of topics to get through. Trouble for Naughty Dog this week. So Naughty Dog, the studio behind The Last of Us, are cutting developers. So they've got a lot of contractors. I think they're external contractors from other things that they've sort of brought in to work on projects. They are cutting them all, and they are not offering any severance pay.
I'll just ask, are these the developers for the Last of Us port to PC? Because if so, I'm completely with them for that.
They are not.
It's really bad. I don't wish anyone to be jobless and not get any restitutions for their job and work that they've done and being made redundant. But the Last of Us devs that did the port, pull your fucking act together, you lazy bastards.
Now, I feel like I've heard somewhere that the cuts are relating to the Last of Us multiplayer that they've been working on behind the scenes. I can't find any evidence to confirm that, but I'm sure I've heard from someone that that's what it was. And if that's the case, it makes you wonder, is that still coming? Are they just doing it on a more budgeted team, or are they scrapping that and they're just not telling anyone?
maybe they're taking an Elon Musk with X, where he took over the company and was like, so what do you do? This. You're fired because you don't need that big of a workforce. It's like these companies have over employed to do the same job, and it's more efficient and money saving. The thing is with The Last of Us, as much as a multiplayer game would be cool for Last of Us, it is something that I feel passionate about. Last of Us is a single player game. And whenever someone takes a single player game and goes multiplayer with it, crumbles and
Last
burns.
of Us 1 had multiplayer with it, didn't it, I believe? So did Uncharted 4.
I've never played it.
I'm sure Uncharted 4 and Last of Us 1 both launched with multiplayer on consoles, like the original versions of them. But the issue here, though, isn't the fact that obviously they're getting made redundant. It's the fact that there's no severance pay being offered, and they've all been told that they're not allowed to say anything about it. This is a leak that's come out because people have actively been told that they can't talk about it. That sounds shady as fuck to me.
Yeah.
Which sounds to me like either something illegal's happening back there, or Naughty Dog are in a lot of trouble financially and they don't want it getting out.
I want to say that it's a financial thing, especially after the port came out and probably all of the issues and potential lawsuits that we haven't heard about, because it was like, oh, you were promised a game and it came out and it was rubbish. Like, it wasn't done correctly.
Well, this is the issue because they only really make Uncharted and Last of Us to Naughty Dog, as far as I'm aware now, don't they? That's all they're really known for. Now, Uncharted, they've not done anything since Lost Legacy, which didn't sell as well as 4. That's been irrelevant for a while. They've only done Last of Us 1 and 2, and for all they were great selling games and amazing games to play, the only thing they've done recently is remasters for the PS5. But they released them during a climate where you couldn't get hold of a PS5 to save your life.
Yeah,
so
it was a
the
bad
business model shot themselves
decision.
in the foot. Yeah, the only other thing they've done, other than them, is a remaster for PC, the port for PC, which was abysmal. So I'm not surprised if it was somewhat financial. I'm not surprised if it's something self-inflicted by their own business decisions.
Well, this is the thing. Just looking at all of the Naughty Dog games that they've got out there, you've got Uncharted franchise, Last of Us franchise, Jack and Daxter franchise.
That's been dead for years.
And then 1989 game, Keith the Thief, and then 1991 game, Rings of Power. Those are the only games that Naughty Dog do. And I think I reckon it's going to be a situation like Halo and other game people that are only there doing one game or a franchise, and they're repeating the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. To a degree, Ubisoft with Assassin's Creed.
But the difference is with Ubisoft and Assassin's Creed, yes, they release the same game over and over again. But they do it consistently, so it doesn't matter if the game doesn't sell amazing, as long as it sells enough to push through to the next one.
Yeah.
Which, love or hate Ubisoft, that business model works. You can't deny it works. FIFA do it.
Oh, no.
You know what I mean? Well, I can't call them FIFA anymore, but FIFA do it. Like so many companies do it, and it's shitty, yeah, but I think that's the issue here is copying the homework that you've done before and changing the answers a little bit is fine, as long as you do it regularly. Doing it twice in the space of 10 years ain't regular. It's not enough to sustain.
No. It's most likely a situation where it's financial, whether it be a lawsuit or whether it's just they've got this big workforce and the games aren't doing well because they don't release games in any quick succession.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, Last of Us and Last of Us 2, really big games that they spent a lot of time on, so fair enough. And from what I've seen, they're great games. I've not played either of them because I've never been a PlayStation guy. But if you're only doing 2 franchises and like Uncharted, when was the last Uncharted game released? That was Uncharted 4.
Which was, I want to say...
2016.
I was gonna say it's 3 years since the PS5 launched, isn't it? So
Yeah,
you are looking
Uncharted
at
4, 2016, and then The Last of Us 2 was 2020 at the height of the PlayStation 5 drought.
Yeah.
If those are your two big names, then obviously it's going to go downhill for your company. You need to start either doing something new to bring more people back to your game company, or you need to give us more games like a new Uncharted. Not that they need another one because they've got, from what I can see here, 7 games.
Oh yeah, because they've got the PSP game as well, haven't they?
Yeah, they've got Uncharted 1, 2, 3, 4, Nathan Drake Collection, Drake's
yes.
Fortune, and The Lost Legacy.
Let's not count the collection because the collection is just the 3 games again. The 6.
Yeah.
But
So the 6 games and the last one.
4 main lines, Lost Legacy and the PSP title, yeah. But you got 6 of them in the last, 15, 16 years? Probably longer than that. Yeah. Plus these.
And then it's just dead for the last 7, 8 years. Nothing from that franchise.
But to be fair, it's not like, and this is going to be a controversial thing. I know a lot of people like these games. I like these games too. I say that I've never played The Last of Us, but I like the Uncharted games. I've played a little bit of Last of Us to know enough to make this opinion, though. They are basically the exact same game with different enemies. The aiming mechanics and everything are identical.
Yeah, they've taken there's a word that I'm thinking, but I can't think of it. They've taken the good things from whichever title came first, and they've just expanded upon it and changed the graphics.
Which isn't a bad thing.
No, but if it works, it works.
But when that's what you're doing, I'm sorry, but there needs to be a more regular release schedule. That's the one thing that I can't fault CDPR on with Cyberpunk is, yes, Cyberpunk took ages to come out. But that was because they made an entirely new engine for it, and it was unlike anything they'd ever made before. If you're trying something new, fair enough, yeah, but The Last of Us really is just a reskin of Uncharted with different enemy types. And like I say, it's not a bad thing, it's good. But I feel like that could be the main issue, is that they're not really trying anything adventurous. The games were cinematic masterpieces, they still are cinematic masterpieces, but they might have been amazing and game-changing to the industry at the time, no doubt about that, but nowadays, what they did back then, everyone's doing, and it's no longer this breathtaking turn-of-the-century ingenuity that everyone saw it as back then. So the remasters aren't getting that same traction that the old ones did. They're just getting it through nostalgia and people hearing through word of mouth, like, oh, this game was great when it came out, play it now. Yeah, the marketing for it's so different.
Yeah, I mean, the fact is, just looking at a PlayStation 5 thing from Insider Gaming, The Last of Us 2 Remastered seems to be coming soon.
So, yay! Why?
Yeah,
there's no point.
Why remaster a game that came out 3 years ago on even PlayStation 4 Pro and PlayStation 5?
Yeah, there's no point.
Why are they now coming out with a remaster? Make a new game franchise. Screw it. Use the same mechanics and the way that the control feel, but in a different time period against something different. Just do something.
Do you know what I think?
Jack and Daxter with the new graphics and everything. Just give us a new Jack and Daxter 4 that is just better than everything.
If there was one game I'd want them to pick up with this sort of game engine and gameplay, it would be, do you remember The Order 1886? It was like a PlayStation 4 launch title.
Yes.
You're in old school London, and it was like there was vampires and werewolves and shit. Fucking take that, because that's dead. Give that to Naughty Dog and let them run with it, because that setting with their gameplay, having werewolves run at you, would be so amazing. And I would play the shit out of that.
You know what? I'd get a PlayStation to play the shit out of it with you too.
Yeah, it'd be awesome.
Yeah.
But they're just not doing anything with Naughty Dog. They're not utilising them, which is a shame, because I know a lot of people didn't like Last of Us 2. I can't say anything. I've not played it. I've only ever watched someone else play it. But from what I saw, the gameplay looks basically identical to the first one, which everyone loved. And the story and stuff, ain't that bad. Fair enough, you come out of it thinking Ellie's a prick and the bad person you actually kind of like, but it's the post-apocalypse. No one's perfect. I quite like that turn of events where at the end of it, you're like, you know what, this main character that I loved, I fucking hate them now. They were wrong. And I like that idea of it, that you can be doing this whole game thinking you're doing the right thing, and then at the end, where the clarity comes for the character, obviously clarity for the player as well. The player's like, oh shit, actually, I think if you can do that sort of storytelling, that's amazing. I personally thought the game didn't look that bad. But give me more. I want more.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, it's sad that people are getting laid off without any severance pay and everything. Really sad.
The fact they've been told they can't talk about it as well is shit.
Yeah. They've got an NDA. They're not getting severance. So basically, they've been fucked in both holes.
That's hot.
With no lube.
That's less hot. Extra hot because of the friction.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, that's not the end of the layoffs. There's been a lot of layoffs this week. So the next lot of layoffs, and this is one that does piss me off because this is a game series close to my heart. The Dragon Age staff from Quality Assurance that formed a union have all been laid off. Now, as I've said a few podcasts back when we were talking about the Immortals of Avium reveal, I have a very love-hate relationship with EA. And I feel like their quality of game has been going downhill drastically for a while now. Anthem, perfect example of that.
Yeah.
So the fact that Quality Assurance, especially considering how many people didn't like Inquisition and the way Inquisition did things, and how many people didn't particularly like the fact that Dragon Age 2 felt unfinished and everyone was still wanting that same experience that the first one gave us, but we've not got it. The fact that they've got rid of their people who are there and know the game, know the franchise, know what the players want, and they're part of a fucking union, especially during the SAG-AFTRA strikes, where people are unionizing to protect like writers and stuff like that. Where the fuck are the protectors for these people? The people who make sure that the writers get the game that they've written, get the credit they deserve. No one's spoken up for these people. They've just been left out to dry, and I think it's fucking disgusting. Sam, want to weigh in?
The fact, you see it a lot across a load of businesses where they lay off or they get rid of the departments for quality assurance. BioWare and EA are not the first people to do it. It also happened with Blizzard, where they sacked the quality control team that tested the game out because they were just a group of gamers that played the expansion before it was like given to the public to test on their beta tests and alpha tests and stuff like that. If you get rid of all of these departments and these people, you're literally going to ruin your own franchises in your games, because those are the people that are making sure that your game is going to live up to the expectation of the gamer.
Yeah.
It is horrific that these 13 contractors have been laid off because they formed a union. One, I feel like there's going to have to be some sort of lawsuit coming from it, because that's an entire union that has been laid off now. What happened is, are there other people that aren't part of that union that were working in the same department that stayed? Is it just the fact that the union was piping up and BioWare were like, yeah, fuck off, we're not dealing with you?
Yeah, which is
either way, it's disgusting. What you have to deal with in this day and age. The quality assurance team of any game developer, they are the last line of defense.
Yeah. And they're the most important line of defense as well, because this is the thing, is like everyone turns around and says, oh, we don't need quality assurance. We've got all these people here who can test it. Now, the best thing about quality assurance is, like you said, they are normally just gamers. They've got no skin in the game. They don't have to sit there and convince themselves something is good. If they play it and something ain't good, they can just say, look, no offense, this sucks. And that's on the company to fix. But by putting the company that are working on it in the game, people who are so constrained in time and finances, they'll sit there and they'll play something and they're more likely to just be like, that'll do. And that's where stuff fails.
Yeah.
And that's the issue. And the fact that they've unionized and they've been sacked, like you said, have they been sacked for that? Are there still people in that department who didn't unionize that have stayed? Like, we don't know. Unfortunately, no. we don't know. There might be some more news about it already out that we've missed, but I've looked this morning. I can't see anything. I don't know about you.
I haven't seen anything last night or this morning, but the fact is the QA department is basically the bug fixers. They are the bug testers. They are the game players that give us they're the people that test it before it reaches our hands and our screens and our controllers and consoles. And if you're laying off these people that are doing God's fucking work, testing these games before we get them to make sure that us, the player base, and us, the other end of the spectrum, the consumer of the product, is getting the best version of the product that they could have got. If you're laying off that department or those contractors, it's obviously they've hit back saying that your game's a pile of wank and you need to change this, that, and the other. Which, if that's the case and they've been fired for that, fuck you, BioWare.
Yeah, that's their fucking job.
Them. Yeah, you've hired them to do a job. They've told you that you're doing a shit job at developing it and you're not living up to the expectations of the consumer that you're going to be asking them to pay money for. And then you've also got the fact that they're there to catch anything so that we don't have a Cyberpunk situation or a Warcraft situation where the game is hyped and rumored and the player base is so excited for it, and then we get it in our hands, we pay our $40, $50, $60, even up to $120 for collector's edition versions of these games now, and they're there to catch it so that we get a good experience when it releases, and we're expected to pay this money. They're trying to make sure that the money that we're paying is worth every penny.
Yeah, so, but I feel like the issue is that they're pulling all this shit at BioWare. BioWare are playing a dangerous fucking game because at this minute in time, they can't keep any of the IPs that they're known for, and then anytime they try and start a new IP, it's shit. Knights of the Old Republic, one of the first IPs they did that was great. They don't own it anymore. That's gone to Sony. Baldur's Gate, one of the first IPs they worked on. They don't own it anymore. It's gone to Larian Studios. Dragon Age is failing. Anthem flopped. Can you think of anything else they've made? Oh yeah, that's right. Mass Effect. What happened to the last Mass Effect game, Sam?
Absolutely died in a great ball of fire. And like Mass Effect, you've got Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3, we all loved. It was a great storyline, and the fact that you could make the decisions, it was like one of the first-ish games that you could make decisions to change the story. And then Andromeda came out, absolutely died a death.
Now, don't get me wrong,
month.
I was one of the few people who liked Andromeda, but I went into Andromeda knowing I didn't go into it as a Mass Effect experience.
Yeah.
Now, had it been made as its own IP in the Mass Effect universe, maybe. But we can't ignore the fact that, like, even Mass Effect 3, that didn't exactly release to fanfare.
No.
Oh, that got a lot of shit as well. I feel like since sort of Mass Effect 2, BioWare have been on this decline, and now I feel like Q&A are the only people, or not Q&A, sorry, just QA in general, are the only people that can stop them fucking being dead in the water. And they're like, yeah, no, we don't need you, do one. It doesn't make sense.
You look at it and you've got titles like Neverwinter Nights is a BioWare product.
Dead.
That came out in 2002 and died very quickly after because Warcraft and Guild Wars were all there and they took the biscuit. There are still people playing Neverwinter when they can get onto a server. And that's great to see that a game is loved by a few people, but that is a few people. Do you see people playing Anthem? No, because it's dead. It's gone. No one wants to play it.
That's why it's currently on offer for £6, and I still looked at it and said, that's too much money.
Well, people aren't going to play Anthem when they can go play other games like Titanfall 1 and 2 and have a better time and experience with it. Baldur's Gate, I don't know what the first and second one were like, but Baldur's Gate 3, because it's now with a new developer, that has gone from one level to god tier level for video game storytelling, narration, voice acting.
You've got to sit there and think, shit, we fucked up when you've had this you started this franchise. You've made 1 and 2, which I'll give them it. They were good games for the time. They've not aged well, but they were good games for the time. But the fact that an indie studio, Larian Studios, which is an indie developer, have taken your franchise and made it better than you ever fucking could.
Yeah, there is a parallel. The thing is, you have to look at it. There is a parallel universe out there where BioWare kept Baldur's Gate, and they did a Baldur's Gate 3, and it was a BioWare title. I'm glad that we live in this universe because Larian, I haven't played it yet. Not completely. I've started the game and I think I've made my character. That's as far as I've got because I'm so in my Warcraft hole at the moment. But I cannot wait once my Warcraft obsession has died down to get onto games like Baldur's Gate 3 and Cyberpunk Phantom Liberty when it finally downloads.
I'm just glad to make that joke.
Yeah. I knew you were. I thought I'd get there before you. But when you look at BioWare's game list, Knights of the Old Republic, dead, and where is it? Where's the next one in the list? Oh wait,
it's on the docket somewhere.
Yeah. The thing is, we could stick with EA for the docket and just cover all the EA topics one after the other now. But all of the titles there, they are dead and buried games. No one is playing Mass Effect anymore. No one is playing Dragon Age apart from the group, the fan base that will play it for over and over and over again, playing different story progressions and stuff.
To be fair,
there is nothing that BioWare is...
I could play KOTOR 1 and 2 over and over again. I like them.
Yeah, got them but that's because Switch. That was at the height of BioWare.
Yeah, that's true.
Ever since those days, it's gone downhill. In the grand scheme of things, Andromeda, you say you like it and it's great, and I will believe you on that, but I've never played it. But Andromeda 2, one of them, from what I've heard.
I bought Andromeda on launch. Knowing what it is now, would I have paid full price for it at launch? Probably not. But do I think if anyone has the opportunity to play it now with the price it's at now, do I think they would play it and have a great time? Yes. The gameplay, outstanding. The mobility and everything, brilliant. Scanning, brilliant. The thing that lets it down is the storytelling, and not even so much the main story. It's a secondary story, which BioWare have always been known for, that like character development and stuff like that. That kind of isn't there. The character models are bland, the characters are boring, but the actual overarching story is quite good. The world's quite pretty. Gameplay is solid. Like I said, I won't pay full price, but if you have the opportunity to go buy it now and you're in a bind, I mean, you're not going to be at the minute because it's quite a busy season for games, but if you find yourself in a pinch and you need a new game, you want something cheap to give a go, I'd recommend it.
Yeah.
I personally really enjoyed it. But like I said, you've got Phantom Liberty come out, you've got Baldur's Gate, you've got Assassin's Creed Mirage, you've got Dark Tide's now come to Xbox, you've got so many other releases coming. It's just a landslide now, so you're not going to be bored for a while.
You look at the older games and you don't look at them anymore because there are so many good games coming out. Like, even if we go back to Elden Ring, when that came out, that was a big hit with a lot of people. Even people that have never played a Dark Souls game.
That's the thing, Elden Ring was my first proper entry into Souls-likes. And I adored that game. I had such a good time on that.
But BioWare, if they're laying off the quality assurance team, who knows what their next game is going to be and how bad it's going to be, because there's not that final line of defense before it gets released to us.
Well, the next game, in theory, should be Dragon Age 4 next year. Now, Dragon Age, unfortunately, is one of them where I will probably still pre-order it. So, don't worry, folks. If you want to wait for a review, Give me a week with it. I'll come into this podcast and I'll tear it a new arsehole if I need to.
To be fair, he has been doing that with a lot of games.
Yes. I'm normally a very happy and positive person, so when I can come on this podcast and hit the topics properly and talk about wrongdoings of companies and the shitty practices, I enjoy doing it. Sue me. Don't actually sue me, Sony, please. Or BioWare.
Right. I think it's bad that they've been laid off. The union, they need to get them back or get some sort of... if they've still got a quality assurance team, but it was just the 13 that were part of the union that were laid off. Bad. Let's see what happens with lawsuits and stuff, because there's sure to be a lawsuit coming in the future for them. But I think we've covered it a bit too much now. I reckon that we go on to one of the other topics, and I want to bring it up. It is the fact that EA, sticking with like BioWare and EA games, EA has lost its battle and is no longer going to be branding their football, amazing football game, FIFA, is not going to be FIFA anymore. Because they have decided to split and not pay the £20 billion or dollars, sorry, to relicense it so that they can keep using the FIFA name and trademark. Which I'm not a football fan. I don't like FIFA games. Not. I've never played them. The only one I played was like FIFA Street.
I played one of them on the PlayStation 1 with my dad. That was about as much FIFA as I ever played. I was more into my hockey games. Yeah.
But, I mean, it's a good business model. EA moving away from that title, because they're only paying for a title of a game.
Yeah.
That's not to say that they're not going to be releasing any more FIFA games in the future, or football.
They've had games. To delist all the other FIFAs, haven't they, from the online stores because of licensing. Sam as well. Have they been relisted under EAFC with their corresponding years, or are they just gone now? That's the big question. I've not looked. I'd boot on my Xbox, but whenever I boot my Xbox up, it disconnects everything in this room from the internet for a hot second. I don't want to do that while I'm streaming.
I don't think that they have. I think that they're all gone now.
Jesus.
I reckon that is all of the old FIFA games gone.
Imagine how much money people have lost there, though.
Well, every year we get a new game which is bringing in more than $20 billion because of the loot box pack opening thing.
Yeah, I know he's got that special name for it, hasn't it, where you build your own team, but I can't remember for the life of me what it's.
I think it's like Division 1 or Race to Division 1, where you can like get packs and create your team and stuff like that. But
I just hate the new name.
Yeah.
Because obviously before it was FIFA, FIFA, now EAFC. If you want to put that into one word, it's EFK.
EFK.
Hey, you want to play some EFK 24?
Yeah, it's... The thing is, they've been paying all this money for the licensing to FIFA to use the FIFA trademark.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but the games end up in the bargain bin in any game store for 99 fucking pence a game. Even the most up-to-date versions, like the latest year's rendition of it, they always end up at £99 or less in a game store. Like when you go in, you go onto eBay and you go look for it, and people have just loaded it up with FIFA games, and they're asking for like 250 quid for an Xbox One because it's got all the FIFA franchise since the 360. Yeah, those games are literally £1 each, mate. There's no way I'm paying 250 quid for an Xbox One with all of those games just because you've loaded it up with, it's a console with games. No, they die a death every 6 months. The
only benefit about the FIFA games is if you want to play any of the old ones. Maybe not now they've delisted them, obviously. Now they actually will be worth some money because you can't get them anymore. Just get a normal console and just get Game Pass, and then Game Pass is paired with EA Access now, so you get access to all of the game library anyway.
Yeah.
Problem solved.
Exactly. It's ridiculous. I don't I just don't understand it. But yeah, they've stopped licensing. They're like splitting from FIFA, and I mean they're saving money, I guess. But yeah, I mean I can't really say much else than it. Yeah, congratulations on saving money. It's going to be weird to see EAFC instead of FIFA in the stores and bundles and stuff.
Hashtag big up EFK.
No.
EFK for life.
But yeah, I mean, it is what it is.
Hashtag Farmville. Well, we might as well then, now we're doing this, we might as well stick with EA. So, going on from one company losing to another EA company very much winning. Something near and dear to my heart, as much as Sam knows, I cream the fuck for these games. Cameron Monaghan has confirmed Jedi 3 is coming. As am I.
The only question I have is, will Cal
have a
get his poncho?
I hope so. He's had it. He had it in both games. He's got to have it in this one as well.
Yeah. To be fair, I think it's going to be a massive running joke that they are going to make it the most difficult thing to acquire in the game to get the poncho, but then you will have the poncho. It's like at level 1. It's like when you in the first Jedi game when you're facing off against the turtle, the frog thing.
Bogdo, yeah.
Yeah, you face off against that at the very beginning of the game. It's going to be like Ogdo Bogdo Junior or Senior or something.
That's what number 2 was. Number 2 was the spawn of Ogdo Bogdo, one of the hardest boss fights in the game to unlock a poncho.
Was to get
the poncho. Like, fucking, it was so funny. But honestly, I'm so happy. I love Cameron Monaghan as an actor. He's amazing. EA, as much as we've just slagged them off, this is Respawn. And Respawn, to me, they are yet to do anything really terrible. So I'm optimistic for this again, because obviously they've done so well with the first 2. They've not let us down. Cameron Monaghan has a lot to do with these games in terms of the development. He talks to them because he's a big Star Wars fan. As we saw from the production of the last game, Mark Hamill had some stuff to do with the last game as well, and he also did some advertising for it. So for me to hear that a third one's coming, considering, like, I've said this before and I'll say it again, I started my Twitch channel on Jedi Fallen Order. Jedi Survivor was a big fucking chapter for this channel, a big anchor point for the channel as a whole. It was the first full series I did. It was the first full series I started my YouTube on, was Jedi Survivor. So now there's that there as well. So, like, basically what we're saying is, when Jedi 3 comes out, I'll start kick streaming. No. I'll stream it on TikTok. And then I can stream it on TikTok.
Anything but kick.
My TikTok career started with Jedi 3.
Yeah, do it on TikTok.
We do it on Facebook.
I would swear anyone away from kick streaming. I'm just saying this now after recent events, which we didn't add to the docket, but I could have. We'll add them for next week. You can get all your stuff together and you can fill me in, because I have no idea what you're talking about. Yeah, but I mean, Jedi 3 gonna be great. I haven't played the latest one yet, but that's because I'm waiting to get a new gen console to play it on there.
Are in for a treat.
But I will be playing it, and I cannot wait to try out the new sort of like dual lightsabers and lightsaber and pistol combat and all that. But yeah, and to be fair, I'm kind of hoping that Cameron Monaghan comes out and says, "Oh, we're doing a TV show," because Ahsoka's been such a big hit with all of the story behind it.
There was that rumor, wasn't there, that there was a hint to him in Kenobi with the path, and then apparently there's been some hint to him in the season finale of Ahsoka somewhere as well. I've not watched the season finale yet, so I don't know.
Neither have I.
But I read something somewhere. I didn't click on it because I didn't want spoilers, but I'm sure someone said there's some hint to Cameron's character in Ahsoka as well, which is interesting, considering how many years after the events of the Jedi games the Ahsoka story is taking place in. Makes you wonder, is there room for Cal Kestis in the wider universe? And if so, that'd be good, because I want to see more. But at the same time, that also means if this trilogy is a trilogy and it ends with the third game, and then we know he's in the wider universe in like the Ahsoka bits, we know he can't die in the game, and to me that kind of removes any sort of danger.
I hope that it's an announcement after Jedi 3 comes out, so that you know where the story's going.
Yeah.
And basically it's a game adaptation. It takes Jedi Fallen Order,
because he'd be too old for the Ahsoka universe for Cameron Monaghan to actually play him. That's the issue.
Yeah. So I reckon, do it.
You know who would play a good old Cal Kestis, though? Do you know...
Nathan Fillion.
Do you know that Scottish dude? He played Van Gogh in Doctor Who.
Yes.
He'd be a fucking sick old Cal Kestis.
He would.
He would look amazing.
Could do some like time skips and stuff, sort of like this is the past that we're watching, but then we see a present day Cal Kestis.
To be fair, we have seen a Clone Wars Anakin in the Ahsoka show. Spoilers for anyone who's not watched that, but that episode's been out like 3-4 weeks now. So,
plus it's all over TikTok and YouTube Shorts and stuff. So
if you've not had it spoiled by now, you deserve to have it spoiled here.
Yeah.
but so it's shown that time isn't as linear as we were led to believe. So there is possibilities. No. But I would personally like to see him make an appearance sort of in the same universe as like, say, Andor. Because obviously Andor finished and there's still a decent time space between the end of Andor, which, can I say, for anyone who doesn't know, Andor was filmed about 100 metres that way from my house. I have taken Sam to the site where it was filmed. He has seen it. He can confirm.
That was a very nice little walk that we went on, and just like a time to sit on the wall at the location that it was filmed. It was very nice, and thank you very much for taking me there on my visit. We will have to go there again. It did, and we will have to go there again next time with a bottle of fizzy pop or something stronger.
Hell yeah!
And just listen to the waves like we did before. That was a beautiful time.
Fuck on the seafront.
You know what? That asshole's going to be red raw by the time I'm done with it.
I was going to say mine or yours.
Yours.
But yeah, so I reckon around the Andor timeline, it'd be a good thing to see him sort of like cross paths at least.
Yeah.
Because he's got such a cool team of his own. Like, it'd be nice to see a live action Night Sister who isn't a bitch.
What about, is that the Night Sister? That's the one that you've got the crush on, isn't it?
Merrin, yes.
Yeah.
But if you make me choose between Merrin and Panam, I'm going
Panam all the way.
Panam any day.
Every day. That first scene where you're like, go meet Panam to do this job, and you just see dad ass hanging out the hood of a fucking car. It makes me
so sad playing my current personal playthrough, because I'm, for anyone who doesn't know, I'm streaming Phantom Liberty on my normal streams, but I'm also playing my own personal playthrough of going back through the main story for the 2.0.01 update. Sort of see all the changes, because I've changed some dialogue as well, see how that affects it, and it is fun. But the sad thing is, I've decided to play as a female V because I've never really played as a female V before, and I'm on console, so I can't mod it. So it's sad looking at Panam knowing
you can't do the sexy
times. I can't romance Panam. Judy's cool, don't get me wrong, love Judy, but to me, because Judy's gay, like that's why it's a female character thing, being a male V, there was never any romance there. So for me, I've always seen Judy as more like sort of like a sister, like a sister character to V more than anything.
Yeah.
So now I've got to go like rearrange her guts, and it's weird. Sweet home Alabama, but you know, sorry, children. Yes, Jedi Survivor's on its way.
Yeah. Which also gives us a very nice transition
to
another Star Wars game.
Is that on the docket?
KOTOR.
Oh yeah!
You fucking idiot.
So yeah, so going back to Knights of the Old Republic, KOTOR got delisted from the its trailer got delisted a while back, and obviously it's not on the stores and stuff yet. It's had development hell. Sony have come out and said that it is due to expired music licenses on the trailer, and that's why it was delisted. Do we think that's bullshit, or do we think that's genuine?
It's complete bullshit. They are just so behind with it, probably forgotten about it, or the team has been reduced to a pile of like 5 people trying to do it. And it's too much for those 5 people. It's not. That's just the cop out answer. Oh yeah, we're not going to do it. They're gonna if it isn't that, and it is genuinely music licenses, we'll get another trailer in the future, which is the same stuff just with different music, or the same music just relisted to try and increase the hype again.
Yeah,
it's the only thing that they're going to do. It's PlayStation at the end of the day, and Sony.
Oh, Sony, here's an idea. Release your fucking game and you won't have an issue with licenses expiring. Like, it's no fucking rocket science. It's KOTOR. It's an old-ass game. There's not much there to struggle with. The story's written for you. The characters are written for you.
The thing is, with KOTOR, it would have been better if it went to a different company.
Yes.
Like, it wasn't Sony that were doing the... I wouldn't say go to the people that did the Last of Us port, but give it to another company that have actually delivered on good remastered games.
Well, the thing is,
let them
you can use blasters in KOTOR. Fucking give it to Naughty Dog. They seem like they need work. You know what I mean? Maybe them 30 people could have kept the fucking job if you'd given them KOTOR. God knows. Don't give them to EA though, because you've got no quality assurance there anymore. Don't give them back to the people who own it. God fucking help them. Oh, what a disaster.
Yeah, KOTOR, I reckon that it's been cancelled because they're trying to cut back because they've spent a lot of money on it that it's only halfway done. So, I mean, we may see it come back if it is the music licensing, but in the grand scheme of things, I reckon that KOTOR remaster is dead, guys, and I'm sorry to say that, because I enjoyed KOTOR as a game. I've got it on PC, and I had been tempted to reinstall it and play it again recently, but because of how old it is and the age and everything, a remaster would have been perfect for those people that want to live a nostalgia tip at
You know what they should do in theory? If they want to do KOTOR, but it's not working with Sony, wait until Jedi 3's out and then give it to fucking Respawn.
That would actually be really good.
They've shown that they know what to do with the Star Wars IP.
Plus, Respawn are a completely separate entity to EA, aren't they? They're kind of owned by, but it is a completely different. Yeah, so it would be a good idea to give a Star Wars game to the people that are making the most up-to-date Star Wars games that have done an actual really good job of it.
Like it says a lot where bar Dave Filoni, who makes like Ahsoka and like Clone Wars and all that sort of shit that all encapsulates into one. He's been there since Lucas was there. So I don't count him as modern Star Wars. He is old Star Wars, hanging on to the old ways and giving us something we want. New Star Wars is Disney and Kathleen Kennedy. They're shit. So the fact that out of modern Star Wars, the most loved thing is Respawn's projects. A character that isn't even live action, but everyone wants to see him in the live action because he's so much better than anything Kathleen Kennedy can put out there. Just give the game to fucking Respawn. They know what to do with Star Wars. They are brilliant.
Yep.
Make Cameron Monaghan every character. Every single one. It would be brilliant.
It really would. I hope that it is just music and we do get it, but if not, then just hand the reins over to Respawn once 3's out. And give us the game that we've all treasured and wanted to be remastered, and from there we give it to the people that are actually doing stuff correctly.
Well, this is the things that I wasn't bothered about KOTOR, the remaster of KOTOR initially, because I didn't have a PlayStation. Now I've got fucking skin in the game and I want it to release.
Well, that's the thing. It's like. To be fair, Sony like to cancel stuff at the moment.
Yeah. Like a dozen developers cancelled them.
Yeah, but it's also there was an upcoming Spider-Man movie that has been quietly cancelled by Sony.
Oh, I heard about that. Yeah.
Yeah, it was going to be a cool project which follows the. It's not the Venom people, but it was going to be based off of comic books.
Morbius.
Like a completely.
It's mobbing time.
But it's been cancelled quietly, like no big releases or anything or big articles. So, in my opinion, it's done. And if Sony are cancelling that project, which is a movie or a TV show, whatever they're doing, and now they've said, oh yeah, it's not cancelled, guys, it's licensing. I reckon that it has been cancelled.
And they're just trying to find the way to tell us without getting hit.
Yeah, they're going to turn around and they'll use the excuse. Well, we tried speaking to the people that licensed the music and everything, and they have rejected our plea to renew the license because we weren't living up to what we were paying them for licensing. So we're not going to be actually doing this game anymore.
Yeah, it's these can't seem to win recently, can Sony?
No.
They've got the layoffs, they've got the Microsoft Activision Blizzard deal, which is throwing back in the face. They've got the ports and stuff, which are issues. They've got the knockback from fans about The Last of Us 2 remake because it's needed. It's like they're just, every move they make seems to be a step in the wrong direction, and the only thing keeping people going is the fact that Spider-Man 2 is right around the corner. Which I forgot about, and I'm really excited for.
Yeah.
But it's just seems to be one thing after the other for these people recently, and I feel sorry for them in a way. But they're doing it to themselves. Now, we were going to do an update on Unity, but all we really have to say is all the devs are moving over to another engine that's kind of the same, and we've got a lot to cover, so I think we skip that one. I don't know about you, mate. Yeah,
to be fair, we still got to wait for, I'm pretty sure, a bit more information to come out, because they've rechanged it, and devs have said we're going. We could probably do a segment next podcast. Which
we'll save that one for next time.
And like actual titles and the developers, as opposed to just going, devs are moving away from it.
We'll revisit that next time when we've got a bit more news to share. So the next thing then is everyone's favourite game is officially dead. Marvel's Avengers, made by Crystal Dynamic. I know. We'll pass some tissues out minute for all you people mourning its loss. I know it was a beloved game to many, and everyone wanted to platinum it, and everyone wished they'd pre-ordered the extra special deluxe editions of it. Because who doesn't want to play a shit game that everyone hated, that caused a complete remodel of the Peter Parker model in the Spider-Man PS4 game that everyone then subsequently hated as well? Well, hey! You go, Sony! Again!
Yeah, it's ridiculous. To be fair, the game was a massive flop.
Yeah, and the game isn't Sony, it's just the fucking remodel of Peter. Yeah, the game was shit. It had so much potential, though. That was the sad thing.
Yeah, the fact is, this was going to be the first Marvel Avengers game, not a Marvel game in general, which we've had many of them with like Midnight Suns and stuff like that. But this was going to be a actual Marvel Avengers that you could play the characters from the original Marvel movie, and it was going to be fun and exciting and everything.
And it gave you people like Miss Marvel, who we'd not yet seen in the MCU, and people could learn more about her and her backstory, which was great. Because like the story itself wasn't great, don't get me wrong, but I feel like them opening scenes with her, when it shows a lot about her Muslim heritage and like her dad's strong beliefs to it and how they conflict with his opinions of his daughter being a soup and stuff like that. Yeah. They did that really well. That was actually one of the more positive factors of the of the game. But it's just a
Some
shame
of
that the rest didn't live to that standard.
Yeah, there was good story points with it, but I reckon that, I mean, it was the nail in the coffin was actually just the gameplay mechanics.
Yeah, well, that's the thing.
The
If
fact
you
that
make
it
a
was just
game where Hulk and Black Widow handle the same,
Yeah, it's like you've got a really strong character and then someone that doesn't have a superpower that is literally just the world-class spy.
yeah. Like, I get that a lot of what they did in terms of each character basically handling exactly the same, they did it purely for the sake of accessibility options, and that's fine. But I feel like they should have fleshed out the multiplayer mechanic more, given each character individual kind of build styles and play styles, and let people build them how they want to build them, and give people a unique experience.
Of had that. I don't know if it was the same developers, but you kind of had that with the Guardians of the Galaxy game.
That was a different company, I think.
Well, you compare the two; they're from the same universe, basically. Both.
I'll tell you in a sec. I've got the game box above me. It was Square Enix still, but it wasn't Crystal Dynamics. It was Eidos Montreal, even.
Well,
good game.
Well, at the end of the day, you've got two people. Crystal Dynamics didn't know what they were doing. They got handed a really good title, which could have been good, and they didn't know what to do with it. Whereas the Guardians of the Galaxy game completely flipped it, where it wasn't. Yeah. You've got Hulk, as you said, Hulk and Black Widow on the same power level as each other. It doesn't come into. No, whereas you've got Peter Quill and Rocket and everyone, they all felt like unique characters that all had their strengths.
Which is weird because they're all like, especially in the Guardians, I feel like a lot more of them tend to be around the same power level as one another. But they managed to still make them feel like a unique experience. Whereas, like we said, with Avengers, you've got people who are polar opposites, like a stealth-based spy who's elegant and supposed to be sexy and very slim-figured. That's just how she's designed. Handles the same way as a dude who's basically a walking nuclear tank.
Yes.
Doesn't make sense.
No.
But Guardians is still one I'm yet to play, you know. I've had it for ages, but I've not played it yet.
I've watched a lot.
I've seen on the box it says it comes with a free PS5 upgrade, so I might have to boot up the old Wi-Fi router, give it a spin.
But we've covered it too much. There's not much to say about it. It's dead. Good night, Marvel Avengers.
Yeah, so from the death of one game to the death of another, back-to-back funerals, ladies and gentlemen. They just kind of dropped Counter-Strike 2 and just deleted CSGO.
Yeah.
What's that about?
I reckon it's because CSGO was meant to be a filler game between Counter-Strike 1 and Counter-Strike 2. And then it was so beloved that they wanted to just push everyone over to Counter-Strike 2 because they've spent so long developing it.
Yeah. It feels almost a bit like what they did with Overwatch, where they've done it.
Yeah.
In a sense, which isn't a bad thing if done right. Now, I've played CSGO, not enough to really know much about it. I've not tried Counter-Strike 2. I know Maze, one of our community members, has. He's liking it, so I'm assuming they've done it well.
The thing with it with CSGO is CSGO shut their servers down. Now, a lot of people spent a lot of money on the skins and stuff.
Yeah.
And from my knowledge, speaking to a work colleague that has played it, the skins and stuff didn't transition over to CS2, which is really weird considering the amount of money.
I'd heard something different. I'd heard that the skins did, but your ability to purchase them again didn't, which has made the value of all them old skins go sky high. Now, I don't know if maybe what your colleague said and then what I've said have happened at different points in the timeline and they've fixed an issue.
I think it may have been like stickers and stuff, like scratches for your guns and stuff.
Yeah.
But I won't mention any names of my work colleague, but he had just a general scratch that was like 15 quid. He's then able to sell it. Of course, he had a couple of them. He was then able to sell it since CSGO has now gone offline for over £1,000.
Jesus.
Which, because it's also on the Steam store, it goes into your Steam wallet, which means that everyone, the only way of you getting any money out of it is to get the game and sell your skin, get it in your wallet, and then just buy Steam Decks and then sell your Steam Decks secondhand.
Not a bad shout.
Still brand new in
is this
box.
a friend that you said you're going to buy Steam Deck off? Is it this one?
Yeah.
That explains it. I knew you'd told me about the selling stuff before. That was who I was thinking of when I said that someone had told me. It was obviously you. And I remember you saying about getting a Steam Deck off a mate, but I never pieced the two together. That makes a lot more sense.
Yeah. It's the fact that stuff hasn't transitioned across to CS2, and the fact that Global Offensive has literally just been straight up unlisted, removed from the store, servers have been shut off. And I'm sorry, but you can't just go and do that straight away. You've got to give people a grace period and give people the chance to move stuff over if they've got stuff.
Yeah.
And if you're not doing that, I'm sorry, but Valve's going to be open to a lot of lawsuits now because people have spent thousands upon tens of thousands of pounds on skins.
That's on them. That's on that person. To be fair, you know what you're doing when you buy it. It's a bit like when you buy these decks of players in FIFA, or IFK, as it's called now. You know for a fact the minute that next game comes out, everything you've paid money on is fucking worthless.
Yes, but in FIFA's defense, when you buy that stuff and the new game comes out, yes, it's a shitter because you've lost all of your packs and they're all worthless.
You're expecting the new
but you
game,
can still access. But you can still access them. CSGO, you can't even access the game that these skins are for.
But you can't access it anymore because they've not renewed the license.
Technically, no. But with like CSGO, you've bought all of this stuff, and in an instant, like there was no announcement that it was going to be shut off. It was just, here's CS2, and then a week or two later, CSGO's offline.
Well, if it is any consolation to anyone here who has been affected by the CSGO stuff, at least you know if you buy anything in CSGO, it's Counter-Strike 2, you're going to be safe because Valve don't make a third of anything. So, you know this is it now.
Still too soon.
I get it too soon because it can't be 3 soon. Yeah, so Counter-Strike's dead as well, as is a lot of people's souls and bank accounts. What isn't dead, though, is mine and Sam's bassy as fuck headphones. Because a new music station's been added to Cyberpunk and it's fucking sick.
Honestly, we were in a VC yesterday and Sean was like, oh yeah, so Idris Elba's songs have been added and released now.
He's
so we gave them a listen.
Yeah. They are great. Recommend
they
them
were
on Spotify.
Amazing. So if you haven't heard them, go over to Spotify, YouTube, whatever platform you prefer. Just search Idris Elba Cyberpunk music.
It's a new EP called The Phantom Chronicles. It's got Chokehold, a second one I'm not remembering, and the third one's called Walk of Shame. Chokehold is the best.
Chokehold, honestly, was... It blew my cock off.
It was fantastic. But on top of Idris releasing music, in the DLC, we got 89 points. I can't remember if that's 0.1 or 0.7. But Growl FM, which, for anyone who is unaware of why this is such a significant thing for the game, upon the announcement of Phantom Liberty coming, just like I did when I heard Growl by Idris Elba, not Growl by Idris Elba, fucking, what's it called? Chokehold by Idris Elba. They put out a competition for musicians to enter competition, to put their own music in, and they would choose a handful of winners, and their songs would be put onto the radio station Growl FM, which is hosted by the one, the only, porn star, #1 star, Sasha Grey. What a combo! You get this radio station now, hosted by Sasha Grey, with a good list of tunes. The whole bleeding radio station, sorry, I was struggling on the word then, has been put on Spotify as a playlist. It'd probably be on Apple as well, because I'm pretty sure it was actually put on by the Cyberpunk people. You can go find it. It's a really great selection of songs. Very different to a lot of the stuff we've looked through. Some of them are just generic songs. Some of them are very much cyberpunk specific, but I really like the radio station, and I feel like these people having come and put their own music in, and the fact that CDPR have given something back by doing this, saying that you people are with fans of the game, how would you like to see your music in it? That's so cool.
It's the fact that Idris Elba's song Chokehold has already, considering it only came out, yesterday or day before?
Yeah.
Has nearly 250,000 listens on Spotify alone.
250,000? Is that mostly us? Because that was on 80,000 last time I went on that yesterday.
As of now, it's 220,980 plays in the last couple of days.
Well, like I said, it was 80,000 yesterday when we listened to it. And I know you and Claw listened to it about 40 times on your own after I dipped.
Yeah, and then Growl FM, a lot of those are 30,000 listens, going all the way up to 100,000 listens for Afterlife.
Yeah. Afterlife is a very good one, to be fair.
It is very good, closely followed by Let It Go As You Wander, which I believe was like the metal anime sounding one.
Let It Go. I'm going to assume it is, because that's the one that's not on here, so I'm assuming it's the one that's in complete Japanese. My personal favourites were Candy Shell by Spirit Machines and El Tiempo by Skin on Flesh.
I liked Fumes.
I like Flumes. Lug Flumes.
Oh, no, sorry, Fumes. It was kind of like Bring Me the Horizon esque, like their new stuff, which I'm a huge fan. If anyone knows me, Bring Me is probably my favourite band of all time.
Yes, but honestly, there's something on there for just about everyone. Like, there was a really good one. I can't remember which one it is on this list, but it's pure. It might be Lit by Entelim. It's a complete instrumental piece, and it's so different from the others. But it's honestly, if you like music, I'd go on and check it out, because, like I said, there's a bit for everyone there. And if you are playing the game, obviously, Growl FM is on your radio list in your cars. But on top of that, just the general release of Phantom Liberty is outstanding. Sam, how was your hands-on experience with Phantom Liberty so far?
I mean, I downloaded the game. I downloaded the DLC. I went to start a new playthrough, and I crashed multiple times on the first loading screen. So I've had to go through the treacherous time of reinstalling it completely, which it's getting there, but my internet in the house is dog shit. However, the TikToks of Yorkies that I've seen, they are phenomenal. The game looks incredible with great storytelling. Idris Elba's character in it is just remarkable. Definitely lives up to the same standard as Johnny, aka Mr. Keanu Reeves. The story, there have been a few spoilers for me, but I don't think it's going to affect my gameplay. Like, I may already know what ending or multiple endings there are.
The spoilers that you've seen, I've seen as well. And from what we can gather from them, I think we can both tell that that's just going to be one outcome of many choices you can make. Yeah. So it's not too bad, because you don't know how you're going to get there. You don't know if you're even going to get there. You might end up somewhere else. You know, it's a possibility, but then again, there's always a possibility. It's like playing the main game. You always knew there's a possibility V's going to die.
That's the thing.
You don't know how.
Yeah, it's one of those things. You look at it all, and playing Cyberpunk, I will be playing the game with no tutorials on how to do specific endings. I will be playing a fully unassisted playthrough of it from start to finish, both with the game with the 2.0, which I'm very excited to try the different builds, because that is one of the biggest things since 2.0 has come out.
Is the new builds,
the biggest thing is the new build opportunities that you can do. Like, for me, when I'm going to be playing it, I will be doing a Netrunner build, following in the path of Lucy from the Edge Runners anime. And now with the changes, there is that you can do. And the fact that they've changed all the game, it's not so overbearing with loot and everything. They've kind of made it more of a structured game. So I can't wait to play it.
They've dropped the loot rate, but they've upped the value of the loot, which is such a better decision in my opinion.
Yeah. but I can't wait to play it. I've stuck away from watching all the Yorkie's spoilers and watching his entire streams. I've been lurking in his chat, which for those of you that are here but weren't there, you should totally go there whenever you see Yorkie go live. Go check him out, whether it be Cyberpunk or any other game. He is a very good person, and if you want to, use those redemptions and scare the shit out of him and make him a very good clip that you can upload on the other socials to make himself get out there more and more.
Just not now, because it's not active, because we're podcasting.
Yes, not now. If you do it now, you will be yeetus deletus.
Well, no, it just won't come through and they'll be out points. But yeah, no, I mean, I don't know why he's bigging me up so much. Do I owe you money? I can't remember.
No, you don't
Do you
owe me money.
money?
I just appreciate you, co-host Yorkie Bother.
He's lying. He wants a blood.
I mean, I'm very lonely. I'm single. I'm lonely, and I would rather like a blowjob right now.
Just cut a hole in your mattress.
Nah, bro. The strings. I'll like impale my dick like Gen V. It would go badly.
Jumanji. Gen V, by the way, if you've not watched it, do it. It's fucking brilliant. Now streaming.
If you would like to watch it, we will be performing movie nights in the Discord channel of Yorkie Bother on
Sunday
Sundays.
nights. So starting tonight we're watching Fighting With My Family, the Nick Frost movie about the origins of Paige in WWE. Gonna be good.
It will be. So if you fancy some chill out time on a Sunday, come
Join
by
the Discord.
and chill with us. But no, Cyberpunk, really good. I am excited to play it, but I haven't had any hands-on approach. But from what I've seen of your content, Yorkie, it looks phenomenal.
It is amazing.
Lives up to, if not goes above and beyond what the original game had.
Well, from what I've heard, the people who worked on Phantom Liberty, they are some of the people who worked on the main game itself, but for the most part, it is also very much a new team that's been built specifically to do the DLC, because they've had so much turnover of staff with all the issues post-game and all the hate that they got. And they've already said that Cyberpunk 2, which is happening, it's the people who led the DLC that are going to be the main focus on Cyberpunk 2, which is good because they throw so many things in the DLC which they've not done, like car combat. Should have been in from the start. I know they planned it from the start, but it was never there. Stuff like the fact that there's CCTV missions where you're sat in a CCTV camera using your hacks to assist. The gameplay mechanic, which, considering everything they throw at you in the main game, quite a surprise it's not been there in the base game. Yeah. There's elements of that there. Silent snipers! I don't know if there's silent snipers in the base game. I never use snipers, but that silent sniper I've got is fucking sexy. There's so many different things. The transmog system seems a bit more flushed out and works a bit better now, because before there were issues with it not actually picking stuff up and putting it in your wardrobe. It was just like you bought it or picked up. You might have it, you might not. See with the wind texture, but everything just seems to work cohesively with each other now. There's the odd bug still. Don't get me wrong. A game of this scale is always going to have bugs, and especially in a unique engine specifically for this game, even more so. But the good thing is that before Phantom Liberty released, Cyberpunk sent it to their QA team, something that BioWare can't do. But moving on from one team that doesn't have QA to another team that doesn't have QA, because it's not a team, it's one man. It's one man. I
can't wait for this.
Stardew Valley. Who thought we'd hear about that again? Sam, would you like to take the lead on this one? Because I know you love your Stardew.
Yeah, so I'm a massive fan of Stardew. I've probably played about 500 plus hours, if not more, between both PC and Switch. We thought that the game was dead, and all we were going to be doing is getting extra content for mobiles, sort of like stabilization and stuff like that. Maybe a few bug changes and stuff like that. But Mr. Concerned 8 came out of the woodwork and was like, yeah, you're going to get a 1.6 content update, which is going to be adding a hell of a lot of stuff. So the major key points will be...
I've got the list here.
The major key points will be a major new festival and 2 new mini festivals, which is amazing. You've got late game content which will expand each skill area, which is great because once you've completed sort of like the island and all of that, all you're doing is making money to break the game, really. New items, JoJo alternatives to some of the endgame quests, which I think will be really good. Over 100 lines of new dialogue, which is incredible. That's probably going to be the festival style stuff.
Probably.
New winter outfits for villagers. It's great to see some love going towards the villagers again. New types of rewards for completing billboard requests, which is something that I feel is going to be really good. Billboards, they got a bit stale, which you weren't getting.
They were a bit of a really repetitive gameplay loop in the end, wasn't it?
But two or three of the really big things is PC support is now going to support 8-player multiplayer
That's gonna
farms,
be sick.
which is also in conjunction with a new farm type, which I hope is going to be a mega farm.
Yeah, like an expanded version of the Four Corners kind of deal.
Yeah,
it would
so
make
that
sense,
you can have enough space for the 8 players, which I know that there's a lot of people out there that will be doing that. And if there's anyone that watches the podcast or listens to it, hit me up if you would like and be interested in doing that. I think it'll be a lot of fun to have a load of us playing at the same time, just going mad.
The PC can run Stardew, and I'm pretty sure the laptop downstairs will be able to run it too. So you know for a fact me and Huffle will be there.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, you got a new farm type, which again, as I said, hopefully it's going to be a massive farm that will accommodate the 8 players, because all the others are quite small for 8 players. And then you've got new secrets, which is something new. I really like the secrets in them because you wouldn't expect them. Like, it's an owl flying over your farm.
I don't know what they are, because the secret.
Shut up.
I've not played the game enough to know. I've never even reached Ginger Island. So.
To be fair, the owl flying over isn't like a secret that you unlock. It's just a rare event that happens. But yeah, I mean, there's still no release date for it, and there may be more stuff added to it, which I cannot wait. It's going to be good, and as I said, if there's anyone that would like to try a 8-player multiplayer farm, I would very much be interested in doing that. It was PC only, so if you're playing on, I believe, Steam Deck, and
work, I believe,
Asus ROG and stuff, because it's all through the Steam client, it will be fine. But if you're playing on console or Switch or anything, unfortunately, you will not be able to join us at this present moment in time. But I think it's going to be great, and the fact that we're getting this before Haunted Chocolatier comes out, it's great.
Yeah. Haunted Chocolatier is what I'm excited for. That and that Witchbrook. We don't hear much about Witchbrook recently.
No, which I'm really annoyed at. Well, to be fair, there's 2 games. There's Witchbrook, and then there's like Vampire Animal Crossing, which I know Huffle knows a lot about.
Witchbrook, it's still Chucklefish, isn't it? But it's not Concerned Ape, that one, is it? That's a different dev. It just looks very reminiscent art design. But that's one I'm looking for. While you do some research into that, we'll move on to the next topic, which is the fact that, and this is how we came to the point of me and Sam deciding we are going to host movie nights in the Discord. Because we watched an anime together whilst we worked and spooned. We watched the live-action adaptation of One Piece. What an amazing show that was.
Now, I didn't watch One Piece, the anime. I was watching clips on TikTok, and then it kind of inspired me to watch the anime fully to understand the story bits.
Yeah.
The only thing that I will have to say is the One Piece adaptation that they've just released on Netflix. One, if you want to understand One Piece, go watch it. It is the best ever live adaptation of an anime that there has ever been. The story lives up to so many of the same quirks that One Piece has. The characters and the actors playing said characters, like Luffy, perfect casting choice.
Oh, 100%.
For
Luffy's
Luffy.
Amazing.
Same with Nami and Usopp and Zoro and Sanji. All of the main characters from the anime, they are freaking insane, and the casting choice is just incredible. Season 1 is out. We watched it and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. It's one of those, like, there are some bits of it that are really cheesy and probably translate the best to live action, but rather than try and be serious, like a lot of these adaptations seem to fall into that trap, is to try and be serious, and then when the cheesiness happens, it highlights even more the cheesiness. Whereas this one, it likes to lean into that cheesiness. So even when you get something like certain, like, you'll know what I mean, Sam, when I say the cat costumes, you'll know what I mean.
Yes.
I'm not going to say any more than that because it's a spoiler. They do not translate well to live action at all. But because the show embraces how silly it is so well, it still works. And that is where a lot of places fail.
Yeah. Like, as you can see on the screen now, there is Arlong, which is the main villain of the first couple of arcs. He is played, and just the look of him is incredible and very close to what the anime had. And then you've also got the moves and stuff that that Luffy can do. For those of you that don't know,
he's basically like Mr. Fantastic.
Yeah, he's made of rubber. As you can see there, he's stretchy and can manipulate his body. And when he first did his first gum attack, it was incredible. So if you are intrigued to watch it, I would highly recommend it. Season 2 is on the horizon with being announced and currently in the works. I would go watch it. If you're just looking for something to watch, it's great. It's
one of them shows where it's very rare that one just comes out of the woodwork that you've never really seen before and you have no faults with it, but this is genuinely one of them. I had no interest in it. I've never watched the anime. I don't particularly care for One Piece at all. It's never really appealed to me, but then the show came out of nowhere. I'd not really been following it, so I didn't know it was coming. Next thing you know, it's there. I got told by a couple of people, give it a go. Warning, there's clowns in it. I was like, that's fine. Check the clown out. He's more pirate than clown, in my opinion. So as much as I'm uncomfortable with him, I can deal with it. And I went and watched it, and honestly, it was a pure delight to watch. It didn't feel like a chore at any scene.
I think with it, you compare it to other adaptations that have come from anime to live action, like the Death Note anime, and I'm sorry, but the Death Note anime, live adaptation that they did, was a Western-made heap of garbage, whereas this sticks to the plot points and everything. I know from behind the scenes, the actor that plays Luffy spent a lot of time getting to know, learning Luffy from the voice actor from the anime. I can't remember if that was it the Japanese,
the voice
or
actor
the
for
English.
Luffy. Was it the voice actor for Luffy, or was it the manga creator themselves that turned around and said to him that he is Luffy? Well, I think you told me this, didn't you?
So it's both. So the anime creator was like, yeah, he's Luffy, but then the actor that plays in the live action met up with the voice actor, I believe the English voice actor, but I may be completely wrong. No, it was actually the Japanese, like, subbed version, met up with them to learn Luffy better with all of the quirks and the way that Luffy is. And I think that definitely helped with it. But it is 100% worth a watch. Even if you don't like anime or whatever, it is good as just a off the cuff, really good watch. And yeah, we watched it, and I think everything's just perfect in it, from the graphical style to the character development and how they're portrayed.
It's very rare you get an adaptation that's so perfect like this. Like, obviously, Cowboy Bebop, for better or for worse, did a brilliant live action adaptation. The only issue is that did not translate well to live action.
Well, my dad doesn't watch anime. He doesn't like anime. He takes the piss out of me because I watch anime. But the Cowboy Bebop live action, he really enjoyed.
I thoroughly enjoyed it as well. I don't understand why so many people hated it. But yeah,
it's because it was whitewashed, basically. It was another one of those things that it was Western. It was a Western taking an anime and putting their Hollywood spin on it, whereas One Piece, yes, it's got the Hollywood spin, but the actors' choices and the character
are more
portrayals of those people, Yeah, it's as if they have just taken the anime and pulled the character from the screen,
Except
and we're getting
Usopp. Usopp looks very different from his, but I think that's for the better because the dude who they've got to play Usopp is fucking fantastic. I love him so much. He's one of my favourite characters in this show.
Captain Usopp, defender of everyone and killer of giants and dragon fucker. I don't know.
Master bullshitter.
It's one of his stories. Yeah.
But yeah, he's great. I've not seen a live action adaptation this brilliant since the live action Last Airbender movie.
Yeah. Plus, it's also good to see some.
I didn't even click that I was chatting shit. You just agreed with me. That film was fucking terrible.
I didn't mind the Last Airbender. I'm just saying
it was
that.
Fucking awful, man.
I didn't watch the anime though. That's the thing. I didn't watch the anime
I grew
religiously.
I grew up on the anime for that one. So, but they're doing a new live action of that one as well, aren't they? I don't know if that's Netflix as well. But
I think it is Netflix.
After this, if that's Netflix as well, after this adaptation, I am very confident. So Cowboy Bebop live action adaptation. I liked it. I've watched the anime as well. I liked the adaptation. I'm not going to lie. The live action One Piece adaptation, I liked it. If they're doing an Airbender, I'm pretty confident I'm going to like that too. The question is, what anime should they do next? I personally think a Full Metal Alchemist live action would be sick.
Full Metal Alchemist, Attack on Titan, or Sword Art Online. I think Sword Art Online with the progression of VR would be a very good adaptation, which would bring more people to the VR world, which would also then develop augmented reality more. Attack on Titan, they have done live action versions of it. It is a Japanese casted and native Japanese speaking movie, although it is very good. What was the one that you said?
Airbender. No,
Airbender.
Was it the three other ones that I said they should do? So it was, I said, what did I say now? So I said Full Metal Alchemist.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Yeah, Full Metal Alchemist would be really good as an adaptation, but they would have to cast it perfectly, like they have done with One Piece. If they get one character wrong in it, and that the feel of that character doesn't portray the same as Alchemist, the anime, I'm sorry, but they will ruin it. So that it would have to be a perfect casting choice.
But the thing is, I found that they've got really good at turning video games into animes. And they've got really good at turning animes into live actions. So I think it's hilarious that they've turned Cyberpunk into Edge Runners, and now a live action Cyberpunk project is in the work. Which is something we forgot to add to the docket.
See what's happening.
I want to see a live action that follows V and Jackie during that montage at the start that we don't get to see.
It's either seeing that, or I'd love to see early days of like Keanu Reeves playing Johnny and doing like
Wars.
Like him leading up to the events that you see him for the first time in the game. I think that would be really cool to see, like a Keanu Reeves, because it could be done. You could also have Idris Elba come into it deep, like in the second season as Mr. Reed.
They could do whatever they wanted with it, really, which is such a cool thing about it, and I love it so. But we'll keep moving on. So, obviously, Netflix have done this live-action adaptation. Now, moving from that to animes that they're working on. Obviously, this last couple of weeks, we have had that. Let me just pause that so it doesn't slow everything down. We have had the release of Castlevania Nocturne. I'm excited. I have not watched it yet either. I've not had time.
I reckon because we've been having those movie nights and just chill times.
This is going to be on the list, 100%. Yeah, it's during the French Revolution, I believe they've said, isn't it? Like that with vampires, that's going to be sick. Like I can't say no to that, especially with how good like the last Castlevania anime was. It's going to be
the
great.
art style is just incredible. The voice actors that they get in to do the voices are just phenomenal.
That's going to be the one thing I'm going to miss is Richard Armitage as Trevor was so good last season, and I'm going to miss his character. But at the same time, I'll probably come to love this character just as much.
Yeah.
But Trevor's story with the romance options with that redhead, I was just, boy.
Yeah. It was great.
So well done. And honestly,
I need to go through and watch it again.
That was another one. It was a delight to watch all the way through, and I feel like Nocturne's very much going to be the same.
We should definitely do the entire Castlevania. Watch the Belmont,
100%.
Trevor Belmont storyline, and then watch this.
Definitely. And then by the time we finish them, we'll be on to the next anime they're releasing, which is Devil May Cry.
I cannot fucking wait.
Now, I don't know much about Devil May Cry. It's never been a game I've really played.
Okay, so when you're playing the game, the characters, so you've got Dante, you've got Nero, Virgil. The characters are great. It's the combat is very much Capcom kind of, yeah.
Now, if I remember correctly, because I've seen obviously from the new Devil May Cry game, am I right in thinking Dante's the one that around like 2006 got that rebranding to the black hair? Nero's the one who's always had the long white hair, and Virgil's the one with the cane and the crow, isn't it? Or Raven or whatever it is. Am I right in thinking it's that way around?
So,
am I even close?
Nero is a character that came from Devil May Cry 4. He was kind of a new person to the block. Really good game. The soundtrack for all of the games, play 4, and even within the first like mission or two, you'll understand what I'm talking about when it comes to the soundtrack.
So Nero's the young one.
Yeah, Nero's the young one. Dante's the white-haired guy that you just see on every one of the things. He's a bit of a cocky twat, but he's really good. And then you've got Virgil.
This is why I got confused, because when they just changed it to DMC back in like 2006, they made Dante really, really young and gave him that black hair, which kind of looks like Nero's hair, but a different colour. And that's why I was getting Nero and Dante mixed up. That makes more sense.
Yeah, but the characters in it are great. The storytelling in it is great. The combat is great for a Capcom game. It's just really good, and the fact that we're getting a anime adaptation of it,
I believe this anime is from the same people who did the Castlevania ones as well. I believe it's the same people looking at the art style.
Yeah, the art style is very similar.
We've seen from them that they can do these fast, sort of very elevated combat scenes very, 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 very well. Which is good, because I feel like...
which previously worked on the Netflix adaptation of Castlevania, so it is confirmed that is the same person. So
we know that the fight scenes and stuff, they're gonna have that extraness that we love. But I'm excited. I'm excited for all the animes. We've got a lot coming in. Honestly, pre-Netflix getting into the anime game, I can't say, other than Hellsing Ultimate, I can't say I'd ever really watched an anime, and obviously Avatar, but that was like, I don't know why I've never classed like Cartoon Network animes as anime. I don't know why.
Because it's cartoons. Cartoon versus an anime.
I know, but would you still class the Airbender cartoon as an anime though? Because of the art style.
It's a cartoon.
Same art style.
Yeah, it's the same art style, but just the feel of the two.
All right,
speaking
cartoon.
of someone that.
All right, so that's fine then. So I won't count that. So yeah, other than Hellsing Ultimate, which is an anime, not a cartoon.
Yes.
I never really watched any anime, and then it wasn't until Netflix released all these different animes that then when they go into the anime game, I was like, you know what? I quite like anime. I'm going to get back into anime. So that's when I went back and watched stuff like Full Metal Alchemist and watched Attack on Titan with Chloe. And then obviously they've had that much of a library on here. But there's more I want to go back and watch, because obviously I know you're very clued upon your anime. You know a hell of a lot more than I do about it. But from what I've watched, I enjoy. So to be excited for an anime for me is still a very relatively new thing for me, and I'm enjoying it because I was very much in the same way as your dad. I was like, it's fucking, like, as soon as I got old enough, I was like, it's a fucking cartoon, it's for kids. But now I've got past that mindset and I've opened my eyes to it and seen that there is so much more on offer with anime because of what they can do with it.
Yeah.
I've broadened my horizons and library of what I can watch of amazing content tenfold.
The thing is, there's so much that you can do with anime. Like, there's one that's coming up now, which unfortunately I don't feel will get a second season or second runtime, even though the manga had the potential of being like a really long, like Demon Slayer style. Its name is Solo Leveling, and it's a dark combat filled. I believe it's a isekai where guy gets transported to another world.
Okay.
But unfortunately, the writer for it has passed away. So I think they're going to take it up to as far as the manga goes, and then call it a day there to try and not taint his legacy. But it is the most hyped anime from a Japanese writer, I think, of this decade and the previous. Yeah, it's going to be big. But yeah, I honestly can't wait for Devil May Cry. I have Devil May Cry 4 installed on Steam, and I will be going through and playing it.
I love how a lot of the, like, just looking at the trailer now, because for anyone just listening on Spotify, Apple, or that, obviously you can't see what we're looking at, but we've got the trailer running on loop in the background, and my favourite thing about it is most of the colours seem quite muted and from the same colour palette, and then the red contrasts so well. I don't know if that's a specific design choice or if that's just, because obviously it's red font and stuff as well. I don't know if it's a design choice or if it's just convenient for that clip that's on the trailer. But it looks so nice. It reminds me almost in a way of the Sin City movies. Because in everything, the red is so prevalent. I like that design choice. So yeah, so you've got Devil May Cry coming soon. You've got Castlevania Nocturne out now. You've got One Piece out now. There's plenty to watch, folks. Plenty to watch. There's a lot to look forward to. What? Someone who doesn't have something to look forward to. Nvidia. AMD's got them in trouble. It's probably not AMD. I just have this vision that AMD, because of the direct competitors, rung the police. The Nvidia offices in France were raided by the French CPA, the French Competition Authority, anti-competitive agency, even authority, whatever.
The guys that are currently trying to stop the acquisition.
Yeah. It's not good. So according, it's the Wall Street Journal have put a report out. They don't mention the Nvidia by name. However, we are aware that Nvidia officers have been raided. So it's 2 and 2 equals 4 kind of scenario. They've been raided over concerns about anti-competitive practices in the graphics card industry. It's because of the chips that they're using, apparently. They're basically cornering the market with it, and they're leaving it so like direct competitors like AMD dead in the water when it comes. Now, to me, I don't know how someone can get done for being anti-competitive for developing their own chip for their hardware, when in reality they could just turn around and say, well, if AMD want to keep up, they could put their own R&D efforts in and make their own good chip. I don't know the legislation, that I don't know how it all works.
Wow. So with this whole situation, so from what I believe, Nvidia don't actually develop their chips. They get chips made by other companies, and then they use it with their technology, whereas AMD are the chip manufacturers themselves. They make the CPUs, the GPU chips, they make it all. Whereas Nvidia, I believe, and I may be completely misinformed on this, but I believe that Nvidia, they say that they're chip makers, but they're actually taking other chips and developing on that, and then incorporating that with their own technology. I mean, it kind of comes after the fact of they just earned a record $13.51 billion, which is a 101% increase at the same time last year. So they're doing something right. And I think it's either they're progressing. If I'm misinformed and they do develop their own chips, then Nvidia, they've discovered a new way of doing stuff. But at the same time, you compare the AMD graphics cards versus Nvidia. Nvidia is in bed with a lot of competitors, whereas AMD is just kind of like, well, we've got AMD CPUs and we've got AMD graphics cards, and they both work very well in unison and synergy with each other. But the price range between AMD and Nvidia is mental. Because if we go over to Amazon and we just go AMD GPU.
AMD is AMD that's generally cheaper.
Yes.
Yeah, which when you're seeing a record profit by Nvidia of 13.15 billion, that makes sense. Why, if you're earning that much, do you have to charge so much for your card? Surely that shows you could afford a price drop in them, which would probably up your sales and balance out the profits anyway.
Yeah. I mean, you're looking at a 4090 at near $2,000 versus AMD's competitor, which option, which yes, it's a couple £100 cheaper, but it's like £1,800 compared to $2,000.
Yeah.
For less gigabytes, but it's ridiculous. It's all getting out of hand at the end of the day. This whole
just a bit.
Nvidia, they're obviously doing something, whether it be upscaling, like, oh, we've done the 30 series, and then like 6 months later, 40 series is out. Thank you very much. And then it's like, oh, that's why their percentages are up, because they released the 40 series literal 6 months after the 30 series came out, and everyone wanted to upgrade their card. AMD is doing a steady upgrade to all of their stuff, whereas Nvidia is like, yeah, we'll do one series, here's the next series out, oh, it's good for the best one that you can get, it's going to be $2,000. And the fact is, the 30 series came out during the GPU shortage, because everyone was getting into mining Bitcoin and all your other cryptocurrencies.
They are Peter Molyneux, mine Bitcoin instead of making a blockchain game, you fucking virgin. Carry on.
But it's also the fact that it seems that Nvidia are teaming up with Microsoft and OpenAI, and a lot of GPUs and stuff are now supporting AI stuff, which is also another market, which may have been another reason, because AI has become such a big thing in the last year or two.
Yeah, it's very much taken over, hasn't it?
Nvidia being in bed with that, and AMD not really having much in that area.
Yeah,
of course there's going to be a competition suit, because Nvidia just like, yeah, Microsoft, we're besties, OpenAI, we're besties, AMD, you've not got a chance. But at the end of the day, I don't see why there are people like the FCA. Competition is always going to be there, no matter how far ahead Nvidia go. They're going to get to a stage where their GPUs are like $4,000. No one is going to be able to afford it, and AMD is going to be on the rise because people can get hold of the cards a lot cheaper.
It's
and the fact
it's
that
a mess.
There's companies out there that are against people in competition. Competition is what we want.
Yeah,
and AMD are still in the fight.
Like, if you are spot on with what you're saying, obviously, like we said at the start, we don't know for sure. It's all rumours and speculation. But if what you're saying is kind of where it is actually at, realistically, Nvidia aren't being anti-competitive. AMD just need to fucking try harder to make some moves in the market.
Well,
Nvidia shouldn't hold themselves back because of AMD's lack of shit. You know what I mean?
The only thing I will say is Nvidia is a one-trick pony. They just deal in graphics cards.
Yeah.
Whereas AMD, they do both CPU and GPUs and motherboards and everything like that. Nvidia is only in the market of graphics cards and cloud gaming. Whereas your entire PC could have every component in it be an AMD product. But whether it be the motherboard, the CPU, the graphics card, the RAM, I believe, you've got everything there. So AMD, yes, are falling behind, but that's because they're doing
am I right in thinking that AMD own Crucial? I'm sure AMD and Crucial are connected. So Crucial make RAM, don't they?
Crucial are owned by Micron.
I'm sure that AMD have had some sort of thing with Crucial.
I think they've got a partnership. Micron, AMD. Micron and AMD share the same view, so they're kind of in bed with each other. So
right, fair enough.
AMD do everything, whereas Nvidia just do graphics cards.
Which I suppose when you just do the one thing, it's so much easier to pull ahead.
If all you're doing is focusing on one specific area, of course you're going to fly by. But AMD are giving us GPUs, CPUs, motherboards. They're working with Micron for RAM and storage. You could build your entire PC of AMD products, but you can only ever do one thing with NVIDIA.
They need to hope that Intel support it properly. If they don't, fucked it.
Well, that's the thing. Intel tried to get into the GPU market as well with the Intel Arc GPUs, and they went down a shit show.
Oh, because I've never heard of them, so that shows how well they did.
The Intel Arc was meant to come out as like really good. Like Intel didn't want to be in bed with NVIDIA anymore because it was a lot like their architecture was having to revolve around NVIDIA and vice versa. So they created the Intel Arc, and the first rendition of it went down like a lead balloon. Like the performance of that GPU was just a heap of dog shit. You would get an NVIDIA or AMD GPU for the same game at the same specs and everything. 120 frames per second on AMD and NVIDIA. Arc was down to 60 because it couldn't handle the rendering of the game. So you were taking a massive graphical hit because of the arcs. Now it could have changed now with firmware updates and stuff, but it was like, oh, we're coming out into the GPU market, and it went down like a lead balloon.
Yeah, I can imagine. So yeah, we'll wait and see, obviously, what news comes of this. Because like I said, at the minute in time, all we've got is rumours and leaked reports and stuff, but we'll revisit, obviously, in a later podcast if there's more news. I imagine next couple of weeks more stuff should come out. So if not the next podcast, probably the podcast after we'll have something better to say.
Going into another dying game, or not so dead game, as we...
It's come back to life! Redfall!
For those of you that don't know, yeah... I can't believe what we're about to say. Redfall,
a game that has been recorded on Steam as having only 3 concurrent players. 3. Some reason, ZeniMax and Bethesda have decided they are going ahead with the DLC. They are going ahead with it. Who knew that they would be going ahead with a DLC for that? Like, what the fuck? It's shit. I mean, it's not shit. It is shit. But I played it, right? And it was one of them that was that bad. I actually quite enjoyed myself. I know I'm probably one of the few, and I say few in the sense that there are 3 concurrent players. I don't mind it. I don't think it's great. I wouldn't pay money for it. Don't get me wrong. Only reason I play it is because it's through Game Pass. Have you had a go to play, like a chance to play it yet, Sam, or have you kind of kept your distance from this? Like,
I played it once. I played it once and I couldn't play it again. I uninstalled it after that one time because it was one of those games that was meant to be kind of like a Back 4 Blood situation. Where, it's hyped up to be the next Left 4 Dead, it's hyped up. And it wasn't. It just couldn't live up to Left 4 Dead.
See, I liked Back 4 Blood, though. I actually quite liked Back 4 Blood. I played a lot of it with other streamers and stuff on their streams and stuff, and I had a great time doing so. Like, it was so fun. But I feel like it is one of them where it's good because you're with the right group of people.
Yeah.
Whereas I can happily sit there and play Left 4 Dead on my own. I wouldn't play Back 4 Blood on my own.
Yeah, exactly. Left 4 Dead's got the replayability, whereas Back 4 Blood, once you played through it once, you're kind of like, oh yeah, that's fine.
But I feel like the main issue is a lot of the AI in Left 4 Dead were at least competent. So if you got pinned by anything, you were fine. But not all of them pinned you. A lot of them at the same time were purely about just hurting you. Whereas just about everything in Back 4 Blood can pin you, and once you're pinned, you're fucked. And the AI shit. That was the main issue there. But I still really enjoyed Back 4 Blood. But yeah, no, so Redfall. For some reason, they've decided they're going ahead with the DLC. I don't know why. I don't know what the DLC is about. I'd love to see. So, in a 24-hour period, 34 people played it. So it's a bit misleading, the article. So it's anywhere from a low of 3 to a peak of 38. But it's still bad. It's still very, 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 very tellable. Terrible, even, I should say.
Okay, so in the last couple of days, they've had a low... since beginning of October.
Yeah.
Let's go with that. So beginning of October, you're looking at about 17 people have been playing it.
Yeah.
And then the highest that they've had is 54 people playing it.
Yeah. Now, apparently, you can still purchase the Bite Back edition of the main game, which comes with some 2 new characters to join the original 4, which is $30. Or you can buy it bundled at $100 if you want to pay full price for the full game as well. So that's a $70 game then. $70 for that shit. But this is the other thing, is it was the people who made like Dishonored and Prey and stuff who made Redfall, wasn't it?
Yes.
And I don't know how they dropped the ball so much, because Dishonored even, outstanding. It's one of the best games I've ever played. The level design and everything was fantastic. Dishonored 2, I've not played as much of. I've only really played the start. It's one that I've always tried to sort of go to at a time where there's been a lot of things going on, and I've either got distracted with personal stuff or I've moved on to a game that's drawn my attention more. But I want to give it a go, because I'm still yet to do, is her name Emily? The kid? Who's not a kid in 2? I don't know. She's got like a completely different set of powers. I'd love to give her a go and do a completely separate playthrough rather than playing Corvo with his abilities and stuff, like actually see what it's about. I'll get around to it at some point, but regardless of the fact that I've played or not, they are well known to be very good games, very enjoyable games that a lot of people like to go back to and replay because there's so many different ways you can approach it. Prey, that was one I played on stream a couple of years back for Halloween. Brilliant game. My only issue with that one was I feel like a lot of horror games become less scary and a bit more boring the minute they give you a shotgun. Which, that game suffered from that. Pistol, limited ammo, yeah, that's fine. My accuracy, shit. You can't miss in a thin corridor with a shotgun, it's impossible. So, shotgun removes scary factor. That was my one issue with that game. But other than that, outstanding game. And then Deathloop, the newer one. I remember I did Deathloop when I was doing... It wasn't a charity thing. I think it was when I first started doing giveaways on the channel. It might have been during a charity thing, I can't remember. But Deathloop was another one I did on stream. Again, didn't play much of it because there was that much other stuff going on at the time. It was just a first impression stream. But I had such an amazing time on that game, and the concept of it was great, and the slight multiplayer that they'd incorporated into it, which was something they'd never really done before, multiplayer in one of their games. It worked, and I really enjoyed it. The art style was great, and the story was great, and it wasn't complex. I'm not going to say like it was some mind-bending, explosive cacophony of amazement, but it was good enough to not be crap. It was like a really satisfying, fun experience, and that's all you needed. So I'm confused at how Arcane goes from that to this. Now I know Arcane have said they're pivoting away from this now and going to Dishonored 3, but this is still a thing we cannot ignore. It happened.
Yeah. It, at the end of the day, it's people trying to play in a genre that isn't what they're used to. We've seen it with a lot of game companies that have gone, okay, we're known for these style of games, but you know what? We've been given the chance to do something else. Here it is, and it's been shit. Now, there have been other times where it's been really good, like Hogwarts Legacy, coming from a game developer that hasn't done anything since like the 1990s. But Hogwarts Legacy came out of nowhere, like out of the woodwork, and it was a great game, and people loved it.
Yeah. Well, I think the thing with Hogwarts Legacy though is the Hogwarts Legacy was a different thing though. It's like it was a small company given a well-known and loved IP.
A small company given the golden ticket.
Whereas Arcane, it was a well-respected known company doing a new IP. So Avalanche had an even more uphill battle, realistically.
Yeah.
And yet they succeeded and Arcane didn't. And I mean, I won't mind, but Arcane's gameplay loop that they put into this wasn't far off what they do normally anyways. It's not like they tried anything new, really.
No. It's just a company that couldn't deliver on what, like, the other competitors on the list, because at the same time, it came out at the same time as
came out at the same time as some games.
Back for Blood. It was around the same time.
What, Redfall?
Redfall and Back for Blood, didn't they come out at the same time?
No, they were way off each other. Redfall's still fairly recent. Back for Blood came out ages ago. Redfall. When did Redfall come out? Redfall came out in May.
The 1st of May.
If we do Q1.
Back for Blood. Okay, 2 years between them.
2023. Let's see what came out around the same sort of time. So in order from what released, really, so we had the One Piece Odyssey, the Persona remasters, Fire Emblem, Forspoken, Hi-Fi Rush, the Dead Space remaster, Deliver Mars, Hogwarts Legacy, Tomb Raider Reloaded, Wild Hearts, Atomic Heart, Like a Dragon Ishin, Metroid Prime, the PSVR release with all of that's new games. Let's see. You say it was March, Stig? Say?
May for Redfall.
May, sorry. So around the same time Redfall came out, we got the PS4 and Xbox One releases of Hogwarts Legacy, Darkest Dungeon 2, Midnight Suns, Tears of the Kingdom, Warhammer Bolt Gun, Hello Neighbor 2, Gollum. That game obviously took everyone by surprise.
Fuck's sake, let's just take into consideration Redfall came out at the same time as Farming Simulator 23, and I'm pretty sure Farming Simulator 23 got more concurrent players.
Probably.
And still has more concurrent players than Redfall in its entirety.
Like, you look at this a couple weeks before as well. Before Redfall came out, you had Jedi Survivor, Dead Island 2, Disney Speedstorm, Minecraft Legends, like Meet Your Maker. There were so many better games you could play. Why would you choose this? You wouldn't. Yeah. And that's why there's 3 concurrent players. And I mean, it is what it is, you know what I mean? Like, the main thing is, for those that are enjoying it, congratulations, you're getting a DLC. I would like to see this game, with it being on Game Pass, do a Cyberpunk, do a No Man's Sky, where it goes full circle and in the end it turns out to be a good game. But by the sounds of them going and focusing more back on Dishonored 3, I feel like this is going to be one that they just leave dead in the water, which is a shame. Because there's potential there, and it looks like it could have been fun. But they're just not persevering with it, and that makes me sad.
Yeah.
But that's our lot, Sam. We've gone through a lot.
Yeah.
You need the toilet.
No. I need to lie down or something, man.
Nah, be right. I'm the one sweating vodka. But yes.
Oi, I'm sweating, just not vodka. Probably Dr. Pepper.
He's sweating blood out of his anus. He should go to the doctors. But yeah, that's it. So we'll say we'll say our goodbyes now, shall we? So that Let everyone get on with the
So that I
Sunday
can go get in
mornings.
bed.
So that you can go poo blood out your anus, yeah. So I have been Yorkshire Bother,
And I have been Dark MTR.
and we're going to phone him an ambulance. And you have been watching or listening to, depending on when and where you're listening and watching, Cheat Codes Are Cheating, episode 11! With double figures now, Sam, officially.
Officially, Lucy's Legs 11.
I don't know why you keep saying Lucy. You've been watching Edge Runners. No one says
No,
Lucy.
it's bingo.
They
cool.
don't say Lucy.
Cooling.
They just say Legs 11.
No, it's always been Lucy's Legs 11.
I've never had anyone say Lucy's legs. Guys, tweet me on X. Hashtag it Farmville for life.
Hashtag Farmville free.
Yeah, hashtag Farmville for life, and tell me if you've ever heard it called Lucy's Legs 11 or if it's just Legs 11. But on that note, have a laugh, have a cry, have something good to eat, have a wank. Don't do anything we wouldn't do. Enjoy the rest of your weekends or weekdays, depending on when you are watching or listening. And we shall see you all in the next one in a couple of weeks. Toodaloo, au revoir, and a goodbye, you sexy, sexy bunch.